Back.
Centre half back, yes. You never know where he's going to line up. They use him all over the place. Quite often starts in the forward line. And a centre half back today. Here we go.
Umpires Johnson and O'Driscoll. The breeze favouring the city end of the ground, the end of which West Perth are kicking in this first term. Harding wins the tap away. It's taken by Bushell. A high kick out towards right half forward, leading back in the race West Perth's Laidley. He takes the mark and will get 15 metres. Dean Laidley comes down towards centre wing. Umpire O'Driscoll stepping it out industriously. And Laidley, with West Perth having won the reserves. He's Fremantle the Colts, finds Bradmore. Good strong mark in the pack that from Phil Bradmore, 50 metres out. Short one is on, goes down towards the pocket and finds Gastiff. John Gastiff, who's struggled to cement a place in this side this year. We saw him, I think, last against Claremont. He kicked 6 goals.
Certainly.
Failed against East Fremantle the following week, and the following week was out of the side. Player with immense skill, John Gastiff, will go close from here. Drop punt is on its way, right through the middle. So West Perth on the board, and they are probably, certainly on what we've seen this season, the quickest starters in the league.
Yes, well, and a good mark by Bradmore, and I suppose Bradmore, on his form this year, is one of the few players that could give Browning the runaround. Browning, if suspect at all, suspect against a fast-moving player prepared to move around, that's Bradmore, and we saw his overhead work coming to the fore then and resulting in a goal.
Back in the centre, Rogers opposed to Harding, down to Wilson from Harding. Wilson's kick towards half forward, and Neil Fong takes the defensive mark. Feeds a hand pass to Muggavan. Here's trouble. Muggavan tackled, goes to ground, holding the ball.
Well, I can remember the last time I saw Muggavan play league football, and on that occasion, we couldn't understand him going past for handballs. He just hasn't got the pace to break away, and the first time I see him back in league football, and the same thing happens.
This is Lockyer from about 40 metres out. There goes the kick from Andrew Lockyer, and the score is a tie.
Well, Neil Fong falling for the trap. He didn't want to, and I think Muggavan almost demanded the ball there. He had a look at Muggavan, and he was free okay, and I don't think he really wanted to give it out, but I think Muggavan demanded the ball. He gave it to him. He just never had the pace to break away, and the runner is out to him very, very quickly. Muggavan's playing at centre half back, and he's opposing Colin Waterson.
Back in the centre with umpire O'Driscoll. Play restarts. Harding, a clean possession to Rogers. Long hand pass into the path of Mifka, running down towards half forward. Tries to soccer it off the ground. This is Rankin to Peak. East Fremantle drive it around the outer side. Neesham's in front of Damon out there and takes the mark. Judged it well, did Gerard Neesham, back in this East Fremantle side this afternoon. The run of Wake coming down the ground. Damon gets back into the contest brilliantly. Well done, Wayne Damon. Wins a free kick on the outer side half-back flank. This is Cutler running out of territory. The hand pass infield. A chance for Muggavan and/or Fong. Fong feeds it back to Cutler. Cutler on centre wing. Not a particularly good kick. It bounces on the half volley to Menaglio. Menaglio goes out of bounds, and there'll be a throw in on the outer side.
Surprised the East Fremantle runner hasn't gone out. Too much fancy work over there by Wake and Neesham. That's what happened last week.
West Perth going with what is a good breeze down towards the city end. Harding backward of the pack. In goes Fong, knocked over. Kick comes out for East Fremantle by Rankin towards their half-forward line. Waterson knocks on to Bushell. Bushell feeds the hand pass out towards Neesham. It was a stray. Neesham battling after the ball, cleverly gets it back. Out towards the boundary goes Wilson. Out towards the boundary goes Wilson. Brilliantly tackled out there by Damon. And Damon will get the free kick.
Yes, I think Wilson slipped by the same token.
Player of immense courage, Wayne Damon. The defensive side of half-back. Goes around the outer side. Rogers in front, under the ball. Chance for Brendan Bell. All West Perth ahead of the play. The hand pass not a good one. Mifka will come back on his left foot here. Does it well. The East Fremantle player didn't read it too well. Mifka. Renstead Fremantle in front through Peak, overruns the ball. Rogers behind. Rogers brilliantly tackled out there. Fine tackle by Holt. This is Rankin. Rankin right on the boundary line, as you can see, goes around the outer side, kicking towards half forward. Wilson, he's got a long way into the clear. Sells the dummy to Laidley, runs to 50. Not a good kick. It's all East Fremantle though. Neil Lester-Smith held without it. Lester-Smith made a meal of that. Alexander indicating to umpire O'Driscoll he thought he was held. I doubt that he was. Back going in opposite direction. Held is problematical.
I'll go with the umpire.
That means you're going with me. Comerford kicks in towards Gastiv, and Gastiv takes the mark. Ideal opportunity for you to stitch me right up there as Gastiv goes towards the outer side. Knocked away from Browning by Bradmore. Gastiv tries to crash his way through. Brilliantly played by Peake. Gastiv comes back into the contest, does well too. This is Neesham, held without it. And Neesham will get the free kick outer side. Feeds a hand pass to Wake. East Fremantle opening well into this breeze. Wake the long kick. Lester Smith in from the side. Interfered with Comerford. No free kick. The ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
But maybe collectively they'll do the job here today. Very keen start by West Perth, even though they're kicking with the breeze.
East Fremantle lead by a behind. Comerford wide of the pack. Bell coming to mid it for West Perth. Waterson in there for East Fremantle. Bell only as far as Neesham. This is Harding on 50. Not a good kick down towards the pocket where it bounces out of bounds. And you might remember. Looking ominous to start this game, but there's a long way to go. He's put it out of bounds on the full, but marvellous work by Big Ron. Two-handed feed out of the pack. This is Cutler wearing a famous number 20. Kickle on the I'll ignore that. Kickle on the grandstand side. Browning is up. Forward a chance for Fong close to the boundary line. Still he goes. Gastiv in real trouble. Brilliantly tackled by Wilson. Oh, and Wilson sneaks one in. And he's going, I think, to be reported. Well, the umpire's had a word to him. That was silly by Wilson. The umpire didn't see it, so he's got no option but to bounce it. The boundary umpire is reporting Wilson. And what a niggly, silly thing to do. Watch this. Right hand. Boom. Well, that wouldn't hurt anybody except Wilson. Dumb.
Well, he'll face the tribunal for sure. Monday night.
There's a throw in. Alexander interfered with and won decisively.
Yes, he is the best knock ruckman in the state as far as actual knocking is concerned.
Kicks it in short. Bushell used his body intelligently. This is Fong, surrounded by East Fremantle opponents. Still it's Fong, wrestled out of it, held without it. A bit lucky. Like you picked him up and straightened him up, but Fong was initially over the ball. Fong from half back towards centre wing. Big pack there, knocked away from Bradmore, who recovers well on the ground. Hurried kick down towards half forward. Menaglio is there, drops what he should have taken. Still he goes, Menaglio. Brilliant kick. Darren Buick should have hung on to that. It was knocked away by Solon. Close to the boundary. Darren Buick with skill. Cuts infield brilliantly, Darren Buick. There's a cross field. East Fremantle lead in all directions to the ball. This is Christie. Feeds it back to Rankin, if you don't mind. Across to Renstead. Neesham is free towards the outer side. Marks the ball, does Neesham. Wanted to go on. Won't get past Damon. This is Rankin on the backup. Well played, East Fremantle. Peake is loose now. Breaking to the outer side is Bushell. It needs a well-weighted kick. It didn't have the carry, and Fong read it with experience.
Hallmark of his game this season, Fong. Gets into defence and does good work.
Kick blanketed. Makes it hard for Damon. Still it's Damon. Harassed out there by Lester Smith, and Lester Smith will get the free kick. Slow motion stuff. Half forward Lester Smith to Bushell. Couldn't take the mark. West Perth's defence resolute at the moment as Cutler feeds a hand pass to Muggavan. Drives around the outer side. Renstead. East Fremantle have just locked it in there. Renstead sells a couple of dummies. Goes down towards the pocket. And Peake. And this is about as far as they've been able to establish anything, East Fremantle, and then West Perth have been repulsing them.
Gee, they're loose out in that outer flank, Damon and co. They've got to buttonhole those forwards.
Peake's kick, holding up into the breeze. It's all West Perth at the fall of the ball. Rogers, out to Laidley. Laidley, awkward kicking style, relayed free kick. Wilson penalised.
He's a real problem child, isn't he, Wilson? He does some silly things. We've seen two of them in about the last 5 minutes. And he's got magnificent pace. He's prepared to chase. And in fact chases to catches and most time does catch. And of course when he gets there he invariably gives away that foolish free kick. He's got to have a good look at himself, Peter Wilson.
This is Laidley from the back pocket along the grandstand wing. Holt should have fisted forward. He tried to mark at the back, and as a result West Perth have a chance. Bradmore goes to ground. There's going to be a bounce. (1-1) East Fremantle, 1 goal West Perth. Rogers and Harding, won by the latter. Mainwaring, a hand pass out of the pack to Wilson. Well, where's he going, Wilson? Wilson, another rush of blood. Oh, he's holding the ball. So Wilson, at the moment, needs a little fine-tuning. I think he's on the wrong station.
On the bench.
This is Laidley. Down towards centre wing. Wake, strong mark. Bradmore was kept out of it, according to the umpire. Well, I thought Browning was just standing his ground, but Bradmore's got the ball on centre wing. That'll be an interesting duel as the afternoon unfolds. Bradmore deep into attack. Missed down there. Roving the pack, Menaglio. Menaglio fires and puts it through. West Perth 2 goals and East Fremantle a 1-1.
Yeah, pretty bright opening this by West Perth, and Menaglio starting well. And he doesn't miss many shots like that. But an East Fremantle player, Christie, made good position and should have taken the mark. He fumbled it after using his body well. Through goes Menaglio. He doesn't miss them. And West Perth, who have been mainly in defence, even though they're kicking in with the breeze in this quarter, they've defended pretty well, and now they've reaped the rewards. With Bradmore, the second time the ball's been down there, and he's taken it both times.
Well, that indicates West Perth always quick out of the blocks. The best in the league in the first term for points kicked. Soccering off the ground there, East Fremantle try and work it forward through Harding. Menaglio goes to ground under a tackle. This is Chaplin with brilliance. Chaplin, who kicked 6 last Saturday, deep into attack. Rogers is down there. It's going to bounce through. It's a goal. Gavin Chaplin out of the centre, and West Perth extend their lead.
Well, he's quick. There's no doubt about him. I've seen him play his best football in the forward pocket, half-forward line. There he is, weaving his way out of trouble. He's still in the centre square. And watch the shepherding of big Kim Rogers down at full forward. Uses the body magnificently. Realised the ball was on line. Sullivan couldn't get around him, and bouncing through for a goal.
Back in the centre with umpire Johnson. There's the bounce. Harding goes up and wins it down. Menaglio sharks it. Clever hand pass under the tackle. Got it across to Chaplin. He's robbed of the ball. This is Mainwaring, indecisive. Menaglio goes back with courage, and there's going to be a bounce. So West Perth slipping up a gear to lead by 11 points at the 10.5-minute mark of the first term. One down by Stevens, who goes again. Diving on top of the ball, Renstead. Stevens goes back into the fray. That's what they're after. (18-7). Umpire Johnson bounces it down.
Oh, dear.
Pushing the back to Harding. The picket?
I didn't see anything there, but they're obviously pushing the back, I'd say, Dennis.
Harding goes down towards half forward. Waterson cleverly to Wilson. Wilson chips it in short. Bushell. Oh. 15 metres. Damon is hurt. That wasn't his intention.
What do you say about that?
A bit late, I thought.
There's
1, 2, 3,
There's
4.
Damon, most unnecessary, and he's hurt himself. Well,
about 4 strides late as Bushell kicks a goal for East Fremantle. So they're 2-1. West Perth with 3 goals. That adds what? Injury to insult.
Well, he wouldn't be very happy about all that lot, Wayne Damon. But the 2 goals for East Fremantle, both coming from West Perth mistakes. And we saw Muggerman the first time going past for a handball. He never had the pace to get away with it. Then we saw a stupid free kick given away. And who was that, number 20 for West Perth? It was Mark Stevens. Pushed Harding in the middle of the back, and that created the forward move for East Fremantle and eventually the goal.
Stevens and Big Ron having a run at this early stage. Stevens wins it wide of the pack. Mifka overruns it. Now a chance for Rankin to peak. Leading up the ground is Lester Smith. Dropping back was Fong. He made it very easy for Lester Smith, who in turn made it easy for him by dropping the mark. Fong comes back into the fray. Takes a while to get the ball out. Peak sockers it off the ground. East Fremantle lead in the race as Rankin puts his body in. Was pushed in the back. Play told to go on now as Renstead hooks it around the corner, looking for Wilson. Lester Smith, or rather Renstead, coming through. What am I talking about? Waterson. Does it matter? Lester Smith has got it now. Goes down towards full forward. In front, Harding. So Harding's gone to full forward. Ron's having a run on the ball, and Harding taking the mark about 20 metres out.
Well, one of the criticisms of Paul Harding around the town this week is that he just does not kick enough goals. When he's in the forward line, the word is he goes down there for a spell. He doesn't work hard down there, take the big marks in the square, kick the goals, and he's got a chance to do that here.
Paul Harding directly in front, high up and under, behind. Shakes the head. Can't believe it.
Well, a player of his class really shouldn't miss a goal like that. But then again, Dennis, he just might not have a lot of practice.
Look at this West Perth formation. Very interesting on the kick-off. players going down, forming a straight line across the full back line, or what is virtually the goal line. There you see 4 of them starting on the far side.
The runners, you think?
Yeah, they'll run up the ground. Interesting.
Yes.
As in a rugby formation. 4 of them starting in line. And now they start to push up to come to the pack.
Oh, that's interesting. Look at the kick.
That was clever. Laidley was one of the runners, and he just ran into open space. Fisted away by Main Waring. Out of bounds. Well, they say there's nothing new under the sun. I haven't seen that one before, Spud.
No, but Laidley should have done better, shouldn't he? Had the run of the game.
Yes, not a bad idea, really. Get all the traffic away. There's a free kick to West Perth Stevens.
Well, what they did, they got all their players upfield in the middle of the ground, as John Todd does quite often, and then the players came down from full back. Lots of space to run into.
I thought West Perth instigated that last season. Ball comes off hands. Warwick close to the boundary, trying to go through his Holt, and he's holding the ball.
Did Toddy pinch one of your ideas?
I didn't say that. I pinched one of
Well, you indicated that.
Robert Wall's ideas when he pinched it off me. This is Bradmore. Goes across the ground and finds Martin.
She's been an effective player today, Bradmore. What's that, about 3 kicks? All been very effective.
He'd be odds on, I think, at this stage for West Perth's best and fairest.
Yes, he's had a great season.
And he's on for the short pass, too. But Martin ignoring him. Bradmore pleading with him. Martin kicks, didn't need him. Gives an indication of the breeze by the same token. West Perth are 4 goals, and East Fremantle are 2-2.
Yes, and most of those goals have come through Bradmore. He's done extremely well. He's been moving around. And that was a great kick by David Martin, and he didn't want to know about Bradmore. Bradmore looking for the little 15-metre chip over, which would have put him within range, but Martin's full concentration was on his drop punt, and he put it right through the middle. This is a good opening by West Perth, because I'm sure East Fremantle, or they appear to me to have been very keen to start quickly today.
As I speak, that breeze has fallen away to almost nothing.
Certainly.
Bushell dragged off an attempted kick, going through his Renstead, back to Bushell. Bushell beside the centre circle, kicks it high towards half forward. Neesham, almost the clever mark. Damon in attendance. Neesham too much finesse. Hand passes to his own advantage. Comes back on his left side. Well done by Neesham. Neesham hooks it high down towards the pocket. Muggerman and Waterson. Muggerman a good mark. Plays on. Kicks across the ground. Down goes Muggerman behind play. Ball on the outer side with Mifka meantime. He's controlling the ball. He's holding it. Yes, good decision.
Well, I don't think he could even reach it.
Rankin's got it. What are you saying?
I'm saying that he couldn't even reach the ball to get control of it.
Good thing we're not a 2-umpire system. Ball comes down towards the pocket. This is Lester Smith. Mission impossible, and it was. 2-3. 4 goals.
Gee, Neesham's made a good comeback to the side, hasn't he? He's been all over that forward line and being put under pressure by Damon, but he's had too much finesse so far.
This is Comerford. The rugby line in disarray that time, so Comerford kicks towards the outer side. Stevens in front, fisted away by Big Ron. Chance for Bushell, operating at ground level, held without it. Well, that's interesting.
Well, he was more in possession than that other guy.
I said it was interesting. This is Bushell. Goes down towards full forward. In front, Waterson. Knocked away by Muggerman. Cross comes Damon. The hand passes on to Menaglio. Coming to meet him is White. Menaglio in trouble. Slips a couple of tackles. Can't beat the third. Well tackled by Neesham. Damon hand passes back to Neil Fong. Kicks towards centre field. In comes Alexander to knock away from Stevens. Peake gets it across to Renstead. Renstead by hand to Lockyer. Lockyer inside 50. What a magnificent kick. 2 strides and a long goal. Andrew Lockyer, one of the finds of the season, and that's why.
Magnificent passage of football by East Fremantle. Started by Big Ron Alexander. There's Peake. Handball to Renstead. He's in trouble. He's got players on all over the place. Out it goes to the middle of the ground. Lockyer, 45 metres out. 1 step right through the middle. A feature of his game this year has been his long, straight kicking.
So a good game of football this at the moment. 4 goals straight, West Perth. 3-3 is Fremantle.
Never come behind the old fox.
Big Ron's got a free kick. Those legs are getting thinner. He's lost a boot. Well, if you lose a boot, you hand pass. This is Rankin. Peake. He's a busy player in this opening term. In front down there, East Fremantle's Lester Smith. In goes Bushell. Can't control it. Neesham, he's on his natural side. Look out. Out it comes. Lester Smith inside 50. Chips it across. Bushell. Is the mark paid? Yes, it is. Interesting to step that out. He's inside 50, David Bushell.
Gee, their forward work of East Fremantle is looking very good, isn't it? Very sharp, quick, players moving.
Bushell. Don't you wish I hadn't said that?
Yeah.
Laidley goes around the outer side where Rankin leads in the race, but Mifka does it brilliantly. Well played for Mifka to Bradmore. It'll come back to Mifka. Intelligent hand pass. He put it inside him and put him on his left side. Good running back by Renstead, though. This is Christie. Christie, quick return, finds Rankin unmarked on the outer side. Rankin kicking for distance, pulling it back. Bushell is there. No one contesting the ball, and Bushell's going to get a free kick. Bushell was lost and looking for the ball, and a West Perth player ran into the back of him. Neesham, sloppy, takes too long. Out towards Wilson on the half volley. Told to play on. Menaglio and Laidley there. Laidley doing a lot of talking to the umpire. Just go after the ball, and he does that well. Out into the path of Menaglio at right half back. Menaglio drives around the outer side. Mifka. Browning brought it to the front intelligently. This is Rankin. Rankin, a long hand pass to Ron. Alexander goes down towards half forward and Harding. Harding brings it across the ground. What an intelligent kick. Wake takes the mark. Now why he did that I don't know. Well, he's kicked the goal, so it doesn't matter. He took a risk, but Gavin Wake up from the half back does it with dash.
Oh, superb passage of play. That magnificent use of the football by East Fremantle, and there's not much a defence can do about that. That's Harding. He'd received from Alexander a magnificent pass. That's Wake. And surrounded by West Perth players, he goes on with it and pops it through on his left foot. That's confidence for you, but a superb passage of play, and starting right back with a good fist forward by Browning.
4 threes from Fremantle, 4 goals West Perth. Alexander and Gastiff dueling over the ball there. Gastiff comes back into the fray and wins it. Now a chance for Bell, pushed off it by Alexander. It comes to Browning. Browning at half back, well shepherded by Alexander. Gives it back towards Wake. Chance for East Fremantle to go forward. This is Bushell held without it. Hand pass to his own advantage, I thought. This hand pass isn't a particularly good one as he goes across looking for Wilson. Wilson was taken high. How long does he want? The kick goes towards Fong. Wilson makes amends as he came back strongly. In goes Bell. He's dragged off it. Muggerman too slow. Comes to Peak. Blanketed brilliantly Damon. Damon comes away from half back now for West Perth and kicks it out wide. East Fremantle in best position to mark. And the second of 2, Holt takes the mark, well shepherded by Main Waring. Main Waring popped one for his quarter. It comes across to Renstead. Renstead long down towards full forward. Comerford, the only man at home.
Harding out of position.
Yes, goes wide, looking for Laidley close to the boundary line. It was a careless kick. Had it been executed properly, West Perth could have established something around that outer side.
Very fast pace, and East Fremantle very sharp. They're coming down the field very quickly.
Another game, South Fremantle lead by 22 points and Perth by 2 points. This is Damon. Gastiff, unkind bounce. He should have gone at that one harder though. Rogers, Laidley. This is Darren Buick. Now it's Cutler on the outer side. Infield to Mifka. Mifka still going. Kicks towards centre field. Not a good kick. It's all East Fremantle. From every point of the compass they lead in the race. This is Holt. Uses the ball short. Brilliant kick to Lester Smith. It was centimetre perfect. He turns and goes short. Now East Fremantle very wasteful in attack. This is Comerford. They're trying to be far too clever at the moment. This is Fong. Fong from half back. Kicks out wide. One-on-one contest. If it comes behind, Darren Buick a chance. Well, Darren Buick, I thought, in fact, grabbed Solon by the arm there. He's going to get the free kick. I thought it was quite obvious that Buick was playing for the free and perhaps was the man who was infringing.
Well, I think the arm was across the shoulder anyway. He just grabbed it while it was there, held it there for a little while, and...
That's okay, is it?
Well, if the arm's there, sure.
If the arm's there, grab it. Ball down to Christie. Christie comes back along the grandstand side. Holt. Oh, that was a good mark. Strong hands there, Spud. It was almost knocked away.
Got quick feet too.
Holt. Oof, Solon. Solon gives it across to Christie up from the back pocket. Christie towards half forward. Locke is in front, takes the mark. So Locke is out to centre half forward, goes looking for Waterson. And Waterson takes a strong mark. Walshman a good pass.
Gee, can he kick a ball? Lockyer. I've been very impressed with his kicking at goal this year. Doesn't matter whether there's a breeze around or not. The ball seems to go as straight as a gun barrel. That indicates a powerful kick. And that was a brilliant pass to Waterson.
Waterson, long kick, but he's off target. Jostling down there, almost the East Fremantle mark in front. Off hands and through for a behind. Tell you one man who's very quiet for West Perth at the moment, Spud, Dean Warwick. I don't think he's had a touch so far. 4 to 4 goals.
No, and Browning hasn't done much for East Fremantle either. I doubt whether he's had a kick, Browning.
So Comerford comes to Muggavan. That's a good kick. Muggavan left half back. Muggavan told to play on, runs to centre half back. Long kick down towards half forward. Bounces in no man's land. Wake controls it very well. Got an awkward bounce but made it look easy. Goes out wide looking for Wilson. Wilson onto his left side. Goes out towards Ron Alexander. Too much carry on the kick. Comerford comes to meet it now. Comerford decides to take Alexander on and does very well, does Comerford. Over the top to Laidley. Laidley at half back. Feigns a hand pass across to Rogers. Now he's in trouble. Feeds the hand pass nevertheless. Rogers on centre wing awkwardly down towards the pocket, and Bradmore almost the clever mark. Browning in pursuit. Bradmore hooks it around the corner. Here's Menaglio. He's already kicked one. He pulls it back brilliantly. And Martin is marked only 15 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
That's the sign of a very, very good footballer. Alert, quick reflexes, and right on the boundary, running into an open goal. Saw Martin in a far better position, and he pops it through for a goal.
This commentating is not easy, you know, Spud.
Oh, dear, I'll stay out of it.
You thought you could just take over from me and do what you like, didn't you?
Well, I just ran into that, didn't it, nicely?
You can't take these things for granted, I'm sorry. Ball goes towards the outer side. Harding overruns. Rogers is in there. Harding gets another chance. Knocks it across towards Dean Warwick. Mainwaring wanted it more, and it's out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
Gee, what a bad miss by Martin. 15 metres.
East Fremantle lead by 3 points. That breeze is freshening again now. Martin misses the ball again. Chance now behind the pack for Renstead. Instead of East Fremantle, left half back. No one to kick it to. Goes for distance. Wobbles it down towards left half forward. Peake coming down to meet it. Still it's Peake. Peake well played. Wilson. He's unorthodox as Wilson, but he finds Lockyer on this occasion. Slips catch. She's going to be a fine player, Lockyer. Lockyer kicks across field. Muggavan's out in front, takes the defensive mark. He's playing well on Waterson. I've got a lot of respect for Waterson, but he's keeping Waterson under wraps at the moment. Waterson dropped back to fullback. Full forward, rather. Kick towards the outer side. Bradmore and Browning. Trying to soccer off the ground Peake. Mifka falls over. Claimed from behind. Spills to Rankin. Well played by Rankin. Breaks away. Chips it in short. Neesham, drifting back, takes the mark. Jared Neesham. They need to go long to the goal square. No, he chips into open space. Well, good enough. Missed by Lockyer. This is Warwick. No chase from Lockyer. Bad sign. Ball comes out wide to Fong. Renstead is chasing. Fong flicks it back looking for Bell. He soccers it back to Fong. Still it's Fong. Goes looking for Warwick. Gathers it nicely on the half volley, does Warwick. Drives it down to his left half forward, but he's not in touch at the moment, Dean Warwick. He put that ball out of bounds on the full.
Not in form at all. He would have gone down the middle of the ground to Bradmore had he been in good form.
This is Holt taking the kick from Browning. Gets around Menaglio. Kicks towards half forward. Not a good kick. Through the legs of Damon. Closing on him Lockyer. Well played by Damon. Charged down by Lester Smith. Laidley taken high. Laidley to get the free kick. He's playing a solid game in defence, Dean Laidley.
Yes.
Only a youngster. Teal Cup player. Well, he was picked in the Teal Cup side last year. Didn't play. Made his debut late last season. Finds Bradmore up beside the centre circle.
The thing I like about Bradmore today is that he's been in front on almost every occasion.
Bell can go close from here. No, not a good kick. Half blanketed. Knocked away by the East Fremantle defence, O'Sullivan. Socket off the ground by Mainwaring out towards the boundary. Look at Rogers' work. Mainwaring and Rogers slide over. Well played, big fellow. Mainwaring gets to his feet. Spills across. Trying to kick it out of the pack was O'Sullivan. There's going to be a bounce, but didn't Rogers run hard? Mainwaring certainly had the advantage in pace, one would assume. Close to the boundary line, out of bounds, we'll have a throw in.
Well, if there's an award for the most determined this year, he's in the running, isn't he, Rogers? He really works very hard for West Perth.
Used to have those in the under-12s, didn't you? Most determined, most improved, best club man. Socket off the ground by Bradmore. This is Solon. Castor. Rogers. Who got it out nicely to Menaglio. He does it with brilliance. Menaglio hooks it back towards the kick-off line. It's all East Fremantle down there. And the mark is taken by Christie. Christie driving out, looking for Wenstead. Bell's got pace, more than Wenstead, who applied a good tackle. It comes back now to Mifka. Mifka at half forward, chips it in short and finds Fong. Well played by Mifka. Took his time, realised he was clear, and found somebody with the ball. 4-4 East Fremantle, 4-1 West Perth. Fong with a chance to put the Falcons in front. There goes his kick sliding across the goal face and through for a behind. So an interesting game of football. 26-28. South Fremantle lead by 27 at Fremantle, and Claremont lead by 5 at WAFL. This is Browning. Kicks towards the outer side. In front Wilson, no mark taken. Warwick. Still it's Warwick. Goes by hand to Gastiv. Menaglio is on for the short one. Now, the kick will stand. We heard the siren before the ball arrived, but by the time it got to the umpire, and Keith will tell you about the physics of that during the quarter-time break, by the time it got to the umpire, the sound that is, Menaglio had got the football. So a chance to put West Perth in front. I dare say he'll kick it. Menaglio puts it through for a behind. West Perth a 4-3, East Fremantle a 4-4. It's a tricky quarter, wasn't it?
Well, wasn't it?
The goal kickers for East Fremantle, 2 to Andrew Lockyer and singles to Gavin Wake and David Bushell. And for West Perth, they're all singles. Menaglio, Chaplin, Gastiv and Martin. Just checking those other scores again. South Fremantle 50, Swans 23, Claremont 35, Perth 30. Here's Keith Slater.
Thanks, Dennis. Well, that was a real top quarter of football, and I thought West Perth served that up to East Fremantle very well. I was impressed with East Fremantle's forward work until they got to the business end, where they had to kick the goal, and you heard Dennis Cometti say just a bit too much fancy work, and they fell down. But they certainly had the chance to kick some goals halfway through the quarter. About 20-minute mark of the quarter, they started to really bombard, and they're 2 players that East Fremantle would have to be very aware of. And they've got good service from their back line. Collectively they've done well with Muggerman, Comerford, Neil Fong. Laidley has been a good player. And even though Damon has been beaten by Neesham, he hasn't been a bad player. He's tried very hard, and he certainly let East Fremantle know that he's been around. But generally a very good quarter of football, which augurs well for the rest of the game.
I think Buick or Fong could be playing in the centre as we start this second term. Harding and Rogers doing the ruck work. Knocked forward by Darren Buick. Chance now for Gastiv. Can't pick it up. It comes out wide to Martin. Back to Gastiv, who collides with an opponent there, Billy Jones. Wenstead feeds a hand pass back to Solon. Solon at half back. Out to Jones. Jones, who was on the bench in the first term, driving long towards half forward. Showing the better judgment. Lockyer tries to knock on, but Fong roving the pack well. Controls it at half back. Thought he was held without it. No free kick. Wilson dives on top of it. Flicks it back to accommodate Bushell. Bushell going down towards the pocket. On the assist is Lockyer. Pulls it back towards the goal square. Out comes Comerford though. Comerford kicks towards the outer side. Warwick using his body intelligently. It comes behind he and Jones. Peake can't pick it up. Warwick crashes into Peake. Arriving on the scene is Gastiv. Dragged off the hand pass. Close to the boundary line. Peake leads in the race. It's out of bounds.
It appears that Bell has been moved out of the middle and Darren Buick is in there. I think you're right, Dennis.
Peake trying to kick it forward. Harding across the ground. Lockyer, strong mark in front. Lockyer on the line of the square, the attacking side of centre, goes long down towards Waterson, and he's paid the mark. I'd like to see that again. I don't think it was a mark.
There it goes. There's Lockyer's kick going in. A good long kick again by Lockyer. He's been a good player here today. Waterson camped underneath it. And, well, you saw it. You be the judge.
Well, he's had pangs of conscience. He's kicked to behind. So 3 classic misses at that end. Certainly 2. Menaglio was about 35 metres out on an angle. But Martin and Waterson missing from virtually point-blank range. Comerford kicks in looking for Muggerman, who takes the mark. We didn't decide on that Waterson mark.
No, I didn't think it was a mark. But we let the viewers be the judge of that.
Mifka.
That's a good mark.
Marking the Muggerman kick, going across the ground. Warwick coming to meet it, takes the mark on his chest. feeds the hand pass back to the run of Mifka, who can put the ball out wide towards left half forward. Wake and Menaglio. Wake the better recovery, no assistance. Menaglio with a chance now. Back in field it comes. Martin with nowhere to go, in real trouble. Chance for Wake, can't pick it up. Billy Jones falls over the ball. Martin, the long hand pass out, taken by Darren Buick. Still it's Darren Buick. Scrambles a kick towards half forward, and Stevens, brilliantly tackled by Browning. Brendan Bell is in there. Solon gets a hand pass out to Rankin. Rankin drives East Fremantle towards centre wing. Fong up there with Mainwaring. Lockyer coming through. Lockyer, clever kick around the corner looking for Bushell. West Perth players coming to meet him. Still it's Bushell. Did it brilliantly, David Bushell. About 35 metres out from goal. The kick isn't a good one, though. He did all the hard stuff and didn't finish it off.
Well, there's something wrong with that end of the ground, isn't there? There's been, what, 4 easy misses down there in this game so far.
Mifka. West Perth are getting loose easy on the kick-ins, aren't they? New tactics and all. Brian Peake should mark, doesn't. Chance to recover. Sockling to his own advantage. Now the hand pass goes out. This is Wilson, who tries to get it back to Bomber Peake. Didn't succeed. Now he's in real trouble. Cutler dives on it for West Perth. Goes looking for Darren Buick. Peake with brilliance. Measham sidesteps and hooks it out wide towards left half forward. But talk about indirect. This is Mifka. He'll come back on his left foot. Hooks it towards centre wing. Coming down to meet it, O'Sullivan. Darren Buick goes back and wins the ball, though. Darren Buick out towards right centre wing. Chips it in looking for Les Fong, and Fong sliding takes the mark. And come wide to Bradmore. Looks for that player. Bradmore can't mark. Solon appear to be clinging to him. Bradmore on the boundary. Still it's Bradmore. Comes across field looking for Stevens. It's just wide of the mark. That was bad luck for West Perth. But now they could pay the penalty. That sort of squaring of the ball does one thing. If it doesn't come off, it opens up the middle of the ground as Wake finds Peake. But East Fremantle didn't use it that well. They were very indirect. Down towards half forward goes the kick. Wilson! Very clever mark. It was a battle of strength. And Laidley now surrendering the ball reluctantly, and that's 15 metres, and that is inexcusable. Watch this.
There, and have a look at Wilson's mark. A one-hander, controlled it a la Jacko. 15 metres from 25, 30 metres. He shoots. You call it, Dennis?
He's missed. No, he hasn't. That's a goal.
Thank you.
So a goal to Peter Wilson. I was just humouring you. East Fremantle of 5-6, West Perth of 4-3.
Well, Wilson not having a good day for mine, and really...
Neither are we.
Neither are we. We're calling them badly when they're kicking a goal, of course. But Wilson looks a real frustrated player out there at the moment, although he's kicked the last goal.
Harding and Stevens. Gastiff going nowhere. Mainwaring. Socket away from him by Darren Buick. Stevens gave it to Gastiff. Out it comes to Mifka. Wants his left foot. Fong's got it. Hurried kick. High down towards the forward pocket. In front down there, Christie. And that's a fine mark by George Christie.
Very good mark. Strength.
He can play on up the ground. No one standing the mark. Christie, good kick looking for Renstead. Couldn't take the mark. Brilliant ball control by Murray Renstead. Marvellous stuff to Mainwaring. Mainwaring sees the lead across field, finds Neesham. Now Neesham needs to go long, gets around Buick brilliantly, kicks it out wide, shocking kick. Cutler was interfered with. Trying to soccer off the ground was Alexander. Taking it off Alexander there. That was Wilson. Wilson with a high kick back towards the full forward area, and a fine juggled mark is taken by Brian Peake. Wilson just snatched it off Big Rod.
He really is revved up. There he is, ripped it out of his hands. Wilson onto the left foot, and watch the good mark by Peake. Held his ground strongly, good pair of hands, kept his eye on the ball.
Now that's a goal. East Fremantle is 6-6, and West Perth are 4-3.
Well, East Fremantle trying to assert their superiority on this game now. Their players have obviously lifted. They're working very hard. And the feature of their game at the moment is their very solid tackling. West Perth have been good in that department also. And West Perth's tackling for mine has caused East Fremantle to be indirect. But of course East Fremantle now have settled down to a real good, hard, solid game of football. Their tackling is making it very difficult for West Perth to go forward. And just starting to edge away now, East Fremantle.
7-minute mark, second term. East Fremantle 6-6, West Perth are 4-3. East Fremantle attacking again. This is Wilson. Charging after the ball out towards left half forward. Laidley. Neil Fong. Over the top, this is Mifka. Mifka from half-back. Kicks long towards centre wing. Bradmore's in front, trying to knock it away. O'Sullivan. Loose ball comes to Darren Buick. One bounce. Short passes on to Gastev. Gastev inside 50 metres.
Beautiful roving by Darren Buick. Read it beautifully off hands. And the Gastev should shoot. Not a bad pocket to shoot from here at Subiaco Oval now. Guarded by the big stand.
John Gastev towards the kick-off line. Rogers is down there. Browning fisting away. Menaglio puts it through for a goal. Menaglio roving the pack brilliantly. Gets his second goal. West Perth's fifth.
Of course, that's the type of football that does win a football game. Darren Buick reading the ball beautifully off hands. Let's have a look at the reading of the ball off hands by Peter Menaglio, number 9 for West Perth. Browning the leaper, down to the front of the pack. That's where all good rovers should be. Menaglio was that, and he snapped it through. So we saw before him Darren Buick read the ball beautifully off hands to send the ball into Gastev, and then another long kick going into the goals, and we saw Menaglio do the rest. So that is the type of football, getting to the right place at the right time, and more importantly, handling the ball cleanly.
East Fremantle lead by 9 points, 6-6 to 5-3. Back in the centre, bounce from umpire Johnson. Won by Stevens, taken by Renstead. Not a particularly long kick, but it's effective. Bushell gets on the end of it. Busy player so far, David Bushell. Comes out wide towards left half forward. In front, the mark is taken by Waterson.
And of course, Muggerman has got no chance if he plays from behind the big fellow, Waterson. For the first quarter, we praised him for being in front, but if he does get behind, you can see what happens.
Waterson, who can kick it a long way, does that, but without accuracy. 6-7 East Fremantle, 5-3 West Perth. At Fremantle, South Fremantle lead by 15 points. And at Lathlane, Perth lead by 14 points.
Incredible.
Where's Rudy Webster?
Rudy, where are you?
He's on the phone. Comerford comes grandstand side. Menaglio on the end of it, pushed in the back. Menaglio from half back towards centre wing. Bradmore's in front. O'Sullivan walks around him and takes the overhead mark.
Well, he's been paid the compliment, hasn't he, Bradmore, with Browning moving to full-back?
Knocked away from Peake. Laidley. He's been resolute in defence. Mifka playing a good game this afternoon. To Stevens. Bradmore, now he can run. Plenty of space in front. Whoops, needs to come back. Solon arriving now. Darren Buick, still it's Darren Buick. Hand passes to his own advantage. Sockers off the ground. This is Holt. Fong's got him. Brilliant tackle by Fong. There's going to be a bounce.
A lack of talking by East Fremantle out there. And someone should have warned Holt he was under pressure.
Won by Stevens. Christie. Boundary throw-in. 6-7 East Fremantle, 5-3 West Perth. 10.5 minutes played, second term. Cloudy day in Perth. Rose and Mark Stevens get involved, and Mark Stevens is getting the free.
And rightly so.
Stevens wasting no time, long towards full forward. More jostling down there. Browning and Rogers coming away with it. Bushell into the path of Jones. Calling for the ball downfield is Wilson. Intelligent kick. It will bounce to Wilson, who left the ball behind, took his eyes off the ball. Bell feeds a hand pass to Neil Fong. Down towards half forward and his brother.
I don't think there's anyone he'd like to kick it to more than his brother. And he was nicely positioned, but that was a bad lead by Wilson down that other side. He made it very difficult for Billy Jones. Billy Jones streaming down the outer wing. Wilson led into a position that was almost impossible to get the ball to him.
There's Fong. Has got it through, I think. Touch ball. Wow. Angles are always difficult. Crowd not very happy down there.
No, I thought he touched it okay.
I thought he touched it, but it looked behind the line. He seemed to be reaching back. Never mind. Play goes on. Full umpire in perfect position. This is Mifka. Well played, Mifka to Bradmore. Looking for Fong. Fong surrounded by East Fremantle opponents. Rankin bodied Fong. Still they go after the ball. The base of all of that is Brendan Bell, number 33 for West Perth. He battled very hard. And there'll be about 6-7, 5-4. The game really hotting up.
No place for the faint-hearted out there.
No, we're all up here. This is Darren Buick. Pushed off it. Neesham's got it. Rankin having a grand duel with Mifka. Too much of this from East Fremantle, though. It was effective that time. It found a man, but They're chipping and short passing and fooling around with it. O'Sullivan goes across to Christie. Christie goes down towards right half forward into the path of Peake. Damon closing on him. Peake with finesse towards the outer side on the 50-metre line. Pulls it back. What's he done with it? Just missed. It's a behind. The advantage of the long kick, making a one-out contest there for Peake, and he won the day.
Darren Buick has suffered an injury, but look at it out there.
He's from Fremantle a 6'8", West Perth a 5'4". Buick limping a little. And they're getting free for these kick-ins remarkably easily, West Perth, as Menaglio marked that one and finds Fong down the ground. So every kick-in virtually worth 2 kicks for West Perth as Fong comes towards half forward. Knocked away well by O'Sullivan. Wanting the ball most was Gastiv. Brendan Bell spreads it out and finds Warwick, who runs to 50. Dean Warwick can go close from here. Long kick. What's he done with it? I think he's pulled it too much. It's a behind. 5-5 West Perth, 680s Fremantle.
Yeah, good passage that by West Perth, and Warwick was unlucky. It was a long kick as Stephen Green prepares to come on.
Browning to Rankin. He's on the opposite side of the ground to the wing he's playing. Kicks towards centre wing. Wilson works his way to the front and takes a fine capture. They're having a very interesting duel, that pair. Cutler and Wilson, after Wilson duelled with Laidley earlier on. Warwick drops a mark on the outer side, harassed by Billy Jones, slung into the fence. Into the front row he goes. The ball was across the boundary line. We'll have a throw in.
Bushell off, Green on. Green came on against East Perth last week, Dennis, and picked up 14 kicks in about half a quarter.
The fact they've taken Bushell off surprises me a little. I thought he's been a busy player, although a wasteful one for them. And there's going to be a bounce on the outer side. Perhaps just reinforcing some message to Bushell. First-year player. 44-35.
Norm Neal still out there with Darren Buick.
Menaglio towards centre field, but it's all East Fremantle. Wake. Neesham breaking for him. That's the direction the kick takes. And that was a very clever mark.
It was that. And Wake has been a very good player for East Fremantle today. Has read the ball beautifully from the half-back line. He's one of the new breed half-backs, isn't he? Prepared to run down the ground. He's kicked the goal.
Neesham off target and behind. 6'9", East Fremantle, 5'5", West Perth. Yes, Wake comes with those tattoos. Always worry, don't they, Spud, players with tattoos? He's the sort of player I think would have one on his tongue.
Oh, we had me worried for a minute then.
Comerford kicks in. Well, Laidley got loose, but the ball had too much carry and went out of bounds.
Now, if he'd have kicked that over the fence then, Laidley, would that have been wasting time?
Probably.
He kicked it.
Green kicks it back towards full forward. Peake with a chance, no support. Couldn't do much there. Muggervan pushed in the back. Muggervan will get the free kick. Much maligned footballer for West Perth, Noel Muggervan. Doing a good job this afternoon. Comes grandstand side. Alexander has it knocked away by Stevens. Well played by Stevens. Comes out of a tight situation, kicking towards half forward. Darren Buick and Solon. And Solon was held and then pushed. Robert Solon, from East Perth player. From half back, high kick. West Perth have got the numbers. Waterson and Muggervan. They fought a draw. Knocked forward brilliantly though by Wake. Chance now for Neesham. Wake. Yes, he's that. Back it comes to Neesham. Wake to get the free kick. No, play told to go on now after they all stop. Holt hand passes to Wilson from 25. He's kicked the goal. But some nondescript umpiring there. I think, in fairness to the umpire, he tried to give it to the game, but the players had stopped. Still, Wilson kicked a goal. Gavin Wake again on a run down the ground. Thought for a moment, I think he was going to be firing at his second.
Well, there we go. There's the call of play on after all the players had stopped. There's the tackle going on Wilson, but he eludes the tackler easily and kicks an easy goal. But gee, East Fremantle have really battled for goals in this quarter, and they've been met fairly and squarely by West Perth today. But I was just talking about Wake. He's a real attacking half-back flanker, and at one stage I thought he was going to kick his second goal.
Bounce. Alexander tippy-toes around from behind the umpire. This is Fong. Les. To Holt Glenn, who from half-back kicks high towards centre-half forward. In from the side, Waterson was interfered with. Comerford getting into his back. And now Waterson, who can kick the ball a long way, as we've said before, sees there's nobody in the goal square, is in that direction. Not far off target, but another behind. So East Fremantle is 7-10 and West Perth are 5-5.
Let's see how West...
Sorry, Spud.
Just to say, let's see how West Perth handle this little lot.
So easy. Every time.
They've done it every time.
Fong. It really is lax marking by East Fremantle. It's worth 2 and 3 kicks to them. This is Chaplin from the Bell hand pass towards half forward. Menaglio. Bit of lethargy in East Fremantle's play. They're being prepared at this stage to be led to the ball. Stevens. Well, they've taken it from one end of the ground to the other on simple marks from Leeds. Back it comes. That's ambitious. Menaglio interfered with. He'll get the free kick.
Well, that was foolish play by Stevens because East Fremantle were setting Menaglio up then, and there's the kick going in, and the interference, even though I think Solon was certainly going for the ball, the interference was there, but the East Fremantle defenders were setting Menaglio up, hoping that Stevens would go over the top, and Menaglio shooting on goals.
That's his third. Right.
2 in this quarter. Well, that was a very good passage of play, even though I just didn't agree with Stevens going over the top trying to find Menaglio, but luckily for him, he received the push in the back and the free kick. But very lax defensive work by East Fremantle. In fact, they didn't touch the ball once, apart from Solon spoiling the ball, and that started with them coming away from fullback. Comerford easily finding he had 2 or 3 players to kick to on that occasion.
East Fremantle by 11 points. Both the other games have a point the margin in them. Swans lead by a point and Perth lead by a point. Warwick to Muggavan. Muggavan driving towards half forward. East Fremantle have got the numbers. Solon gets it on the ground. Bradmore appeared to hang on to Solon. Socket up the ground by Wake to Stephen Green. Shocking hand pass to Rankin. Rankin chips it around the corner to Measham. Measham hand passes across to Wake. Well, the execution there was about 4 out of 10 from East Fremantle, but weight of numbers will carry the day. And again, missed by Mainwaring. Well, if East Fremantle don't get it together pretty soon, they're going to lose this football match. This is some of the most casual stuff you're likely to see. Yes,
well, they've carried it on from last week, Dennis, because their football last week wasn't good at all. What happened there? Free kick?
Free kick to Wake. Well, even that.
There's no point.
No.
That's not East Fremantle's style. East Fremantle work down the middle of the ground. That's why they've been such a successful side this season, and have been very indirect today. I thought it might have been the pressure from West Perth, but not all the time.
Lockyer across the face. Alexander almost the mark down there. Butters up again. Comerford. Clever hand pass to Darren Buick. Darren Buick goes short looking for Menaglio. Well read there by Peake. Surely that was in the back of Green. No free kick to East Fremantle. Les Fong gets a hand pass across to Bell. Bell deep in his own defensive area now. Brings West Perth away. Kicking long towards centre wing. Bradmore, brilliant use of the body, almost took the mark. Sockers to his own advantage. Crashing into him out there was Holt. Still West Perth control the ball. Muggavan gets it across to Bradmore. No support. Could have been holding the ball, as it was, not paid. Martin comes into the fray. Chance for Stevens. Well picked up by O'Sullivan. East Fremantle will bring it away as Waterson gives it back to O'Sullivan, but Menaglio goes back to take a courageous mark. Wheels onto his right side, boots towards half forward. Cutler's there, and Cutler takes the mark, so he's on the forward line now. West Perth trailing by 11 points. But they're far more direct. Long kick down towards the goal square. Fong off hands, has missed. They're getting to the front of the packs on their forward line, West Perth.
Yes.
6-6 to 7-10.
That was really high-powered football from both sides then, wasn't it? Superb defensive work by East Fremantle. Repetitive tackling, which put enormous pressure, and Waterson was in amongst that, so I don't know where he's come from. He must have come right down the ground. He's back at centre-half forward now, and then we saw West Perth respond well, and Fong nearly kicking a goal. Browning kicks to himself and then drives around the outer side. Oh, well, Holt didn't know he had that. Breaks away from Warwick. Shocking kick down towards half forward. Wilson. He's got the ball at centre half forward, Wilson. Comes out looking for Lockyer on a lead. Lockyer running the ball out towards 50. Trying to get around Comerford. Doesn't succeed. West Perth have got the numbers now. Neil Fong comes through. Kicks towards Mifka. Mifka on centre wing. Tries to go around Green. Still it's Mifka. Loses sight of the ball. Mainwaring with a chance. Across to Renstead. Tackled high. Rankin from half forward.
They go into the pocket again, and Muggerman takes the mark. Well, that required a long kick to the goal square, no doubt about it. Alexander was down there. Muggerman around the outer side. Over the top comes Bell. Billy Jones stood his ground in front. Harding soccers off the ground. It goes out of bounds in front of the scoreboard that shows East Fremantle 7-10, West Perth 6-6, and we've played 22.5 minutes of the second term. At quarter time, East Fremantle led 4-4 to 4-2.
Yes, they found goals hard to get in this quarter. Both sides have, but East Fremantle's forward work hasn't been all that good.
Out comes Muggerman with dash. Kicks back towards half-back. Fong, almost the clever mark. Now a chance for Neesham, brilliantly tackled. Involuntary kick by Neesham. Green can't pick it up. Now he's got it. Hooks back towards the forward line. East Fremantle don't really have a contester down there. It's all West Perth yet again. Damon. Neil Fong. They'll run it out once more. Neil Fong comes looking for Mifka. In close attendance is Rankin. Still it's Mifka. Held without it. Mifka will get the free kick. They've had a good duel with the honours to Mifka. Mifka, indecisive. Kicks towards centre half forward. In from the side, Bradmore. Holt is there. Martin is claimed. Over the top it comes. Taken by Christie. Away comes Robert Solon. Solon booting towards half forward and Lockyer. Now up ahead of the play, it's all West Perth. They've got the numbers in the hole. They're really plugging it up well. Kick comes for Wilson, and Wilson takes the mark, and Gastick should have got back.
Magnificent kick from Lockyer again. Pinpoint accuracy from about, what, 50 metres?
Yes. Wilson. Long kick to the goal square. They need more of that. Off hands, through it goes for a behind. It's certainly up ahead of the play then, Spud. Looking from our vantage point, it was about 7-3 West Perth's way, wasn't it?
Yes, that's why Lockyer had to go across the ground, but at least he was going inboard there. Now we go again.
Laidley to Warwick, and that was run out of the back pocket that time. Warwick out wide looking for Martin. Good mark. This has got the hallmarks of a fine goal if they can make something of it. To Brendan Bell. Long hand pass to Menaglio. Superb team goal by West Perth as Menaglio drills it. And East Fremantle are really paying the price for not manning up in their forward line for these kick-ins.
Well, what happened then, Laidley was positioned next to the kicker as Martin with the ball, delivered inboard, and this had been a magnificent passage of play by West Perth. Bell comes down, shoots the handball to Menaglio, and he certainly doesn't miss them. But what happened was that Laidley was coming from the back pocket, running towards the half-back flank. All the other players were congregated in the middle of the ground, and Comerford was able to easily go out into the path of Laidley, and the chain reaction was set up. West Perth had loose players everywhere, and the easy goal.
East Fremantle lead by 5 points. Peter Menaglio has kicked 4 goals. Not a bad way to celebrate his 150th. Bell, the clever hand pass to Fong, who's held without it. There's Fong. Serviceable game. In fact, better than that. Kicks it high down towards half forward. Martin getting a long way in front of Holt. And they need to do that, West Perth. Make a mistake to get East Fremantle in with a chance at the moment. East Fremantle certainly content and being led to the ball as Menaglio gives it to Warwick. Warwick goes around Christie, kicks towards full forward, just off target, and another behind. West Perth is 7-7, East Fremantle 7-11.
Gee, they've missed some easy goals, West Perth. I know East Fremantle have missed a couple, but West Perth have missed more.
Solon kicks to Browning, who's obviously been watching at the other end as he's run up from the back pocket. This is Billy Jones to Browning. Browning goes out towards centre wing. Goes over the top to Harding. Harding, he did reasonably well. The hand pass wasn't a good one.
And that fluency is not with East Fremantle at the moment. And West Perth just at this stage looking the better side.
Rogers claimed by Harding. Stevens to Martin. Renstead, brilliant pickup. Neesham runs towards the centre circle. Boots towards left half forward. They've come right across the ground. Peak is up and is awarded a free kick. Brian Peake, one of East Fremantle's better players, unloads with a long kick down towards full forward. Alexander is down there. Comerford does very well diving on top of the ball, and there's going to be a bounce. And Comerford, a very strong individual. I think his centre of gravity is in his right heel. There's the bounce. One down by Alexander brilliantly. Wilson puts it through for a goal. Superb ruck knock by the big fellow. He liked that too, you can tell.
Yes. Yes, he is the best knock ruckman. When Ron Alexander gets a knock, it really does go to advantage. Just have a look at him here. Uses the body brilliantly. He's done that many times in his career. Over it goes. Wilson holding Darren Brewig back with one hand and off the ground through for a goal. But big Ron Alexander, he really does do it very well. And for a man his age, an object lesson to a few others around the place.
Back in the centre with Neesham. 8-11-7-7. He's Fremantle moving into their forward line. Neil Lester-Smith has got it.
Look at Lockyer.
Lockyer breaking to his left side. That's an intelligent kick. Milks it for all it was worth there, Neil Lester-Smith.
Gee, it took a long time to get it over to him, though. He was loose for a long time.
Inside 50, Lockyer. A kick from outside. Long kick. That is a massive kick. Well, he's as good a kick as I've seen in a long time, Andrew Lockyer. Reminds me of Ross Glendinning, the way he puts the ball onto his boot. It just seems to go forever.
Well, if he turns out as good as that player, everyone will be very happy, including East Fremantle and the West Australian side. But again, we see the magnificent kicking of Andrew Lockyer. And that as straight as a gun barrel, Dennis, there must be enormous power behind the ball, because you see a lot of players kick the ball a long way and it drifts all over the place.
Play restart, 65-49, and East Fremantle just starting to get a move on now. Perhaps they've been sparked out of their lethargy as Wilson was pushed into a situation he didn't relish. Bell to Menaglio, who's kicked 4, goes to ground under a tackle, and there's going to be a bounce. For East Fremantle, 3 apiece to Peter Wilson and Andrew Lockyer. Been a good game of football, this, but obviously all of them are today. Looking at the scoreboard here at Subiaco Oval, South back to lead as East Fremantle get a free kick. South leading by 25 points after trailing by behind earlier. And Perth now trailing by 4 points. Crawling after the ball is Comerford. Cool. Down goes Laidley, and he's going to get a free kick. He put his body in and deserved some reward. He's smiling. Ron smiling. They're all happy down there in the pocket as Laidley comes along the grandstand side. Harding is up. Menaglio roves the pack yet again for West Perth. Menaglio, not a particularly good kick. Bounces close to the boundary line. Bradmore's got it. And we'll have a throw in. I was looking down at the West Perth bench. O'Sullivan came out of bounds next to Wynn and Nell. Closer to Nell than Wynn. And Wynn made a gesture what Nell should have done. There's the throw-in, taken by Rankin. All in good fun, of course. Window's just putting up the elbow. Into the forward line goes the kick meantime. Off hands, this is Laidley. Laidley breaks away from the back pocket, goes across the face of the ground. Old habits die hard. Green is out there and he takes the mark. Green down from centre wing. Wobbly kick, high one. Inside 50, Waterson takes the mark. Could have gone on. Elects not to. This needs to be a goal. It's going to be a goal. Now, it's been ruled that Waterson played on. Well, I don't know that he increased or improved his angle. Now, let's have a look at that. I'd like to see that in replay. They're pleading with umpire Johnson out there. Now, he goes back to take this kick. He's a natural left footer. The siren goes about now. Well, it's got to be a goal.
Well, Dennis, what happened? I think as he was going back, the umpire must have called play on. I don't think it was when he was moving forward. I think the umpire considered when he was going back, he was coming around. Now, he certainly came around, but as you say, he came around as a natural left footer would do. And I think the call of play on may have been before he started running in to kick the ball.
Well, if he got a call of play on, I don't think he should have. Could we have another look at that, perhaps? As the Little Leaguers come out, and controversy brings down the curtain on the first half of football here with East Fremantle 9-11. Here it is again. Now, he's taken the mark. He's going back.
Edging to the left.
Oh, turn it up, Spud.
I'm not supporting the umpire. I'm saying that's all that could have happened.
Well, Paul Mount, give me an indication. He played on.
Played on, definitely.
He played on.
Yes, he made the move before this, just as the siren went.
Welcome back. Subiaco Oval with East Fremantle leading 65-49. Good first half of football. In the other games, Claremont lead by 4 points at Lane Park, and Swans trail by 27 points at Fremantle Oval. Well, the first half here at Subiaco Oval ended in controversial circumstances. Let's take another look at the replay as Colin Waterson gets a goal leading up to half-time. Stephen Green gets it across. Inside 50, Waterson takes the mark. Could have gone on. Elects not to. This needs to be a goal. It's going to be a goal. No. Well.
Wasn't a goal.
It wasn't a goal, no. What do you think?
Well, I thought the umpire erred. Paul Mountain disagrees.
Yeah, no, I still stand by it. I think he played on.
Well, we'll forgive you, Paul. To err is human, to forgive is divine. Is that how it goes, Bud?
That's your story.
Such power. Okay, we start the second half. 9-11 to 7-7. West Perth kicking towards the city end of the ground, and Rogers has the ball. Rankin grabs it now for East Fremantle towards half forward. Sitting on the ball is Duckworth, who's on the ground now. Neil Fong crashing through. Well played by Duckworth to get it out. Long kick into the forward line. Menaglio knocks it back cleverly, looking for Martin. On top of the ball is Bradmore with nowhere to go. And there's going to be a bounce. Browning up rather slowly after that exchange. Bounce it centre half forward. Harding pushed in the back. He'll take the free kick. Where will he come? Straight down the middle. High kick towards half forward. Duckworth and Lockyer. Lockyer reduced to spoiling tactics. Wilson goes in. Wilson goes to ground. Duckworth and Wilson getting involved behind the play. Meantime, a scramble. There's a West Perth player down. I think that's Wayne Damon. It is. Holding his jaw. He's been in the wars today. Rogers, clean possession to Bell. Wilson, who's already kicked 3 this afternoon, storming down towards the half-forward line. Hooks it high. Jostling down there. Waterson, magnificent mark opposed to Muggerton. And Muggerton looks to the heavens, but there's nothing you can do about that. Waterson, a stronger man, used his body intelligently, and then it simply stuck in one arm. Here it is again.
And what's more, Waterson knew exactly what he was doing. He was getting Muggerton out of the way. His deep body in there was always going to take the one-handed mark. He's finished it off with a goal, and that's a good start, and that was very well played by Peter Wilson in the centre of the ground. He's had a slightly indifferent day today, Peter Wilson. Started very badly, mistakes all over the place, but you can't doubt his determination to play well, and he showed quite a bit of brilliance there to break away from the middle and to get that ball going forward. It was at a time when West Perth looked like taking the ball away, and only Peter Wilson's determination allowing him to break it up and to send East Fremantle forward for a goal. So East Fremantle using their good players.
Rogers opposed to Harding. Taken by Rogers for the second successive time. Out wide looking for Mifka. Rankin puts his body in intelligently. Well played by both of them there as they battle for the ball. Mifka holding his head, and there's going to be a bounce. 10-11 to 7-7. Wide of the pack, a chance for Wake of East Fremantle now. Menaglio, still it's Menaglio. The ball slipped from his grasp. Chance for East Fremantle in turn. Renstead trying to paddle it across the centre area. In close attendance was Bell. Wilson's hand pass out to Fong, who's taken around the neck. Oh! Well, the umpire O'Driscoll, running to the scene of it, changed his mind, I think, and the crowd watching the umpire saw that change of mind. He settled for a compromise and bounced it as Warwick kicks into the forward line. Stevens misses it. Coming through is Christie. He boots it out wide, where Holt leads in the race. Brilliantly played by Holt, gets it to Green. East Fremantle continue to work the ball forward. Lester Smith, unkind bounce. Laidley does well, gets it back to Warwick. Warwick in trouble. Long hand pass though, a good one. This is Neil Fong on centre wing. Down towards half forward, back into the air. Chance now for O'Sullivan, roving the pack Darren Buick. He's certainly not fit at the moment, Darren Buick. This is Neesham close to the boundary line. Still it's Neesham. Does it well, does Neesham. There's a good tackle. And the kick will go to Bradmore. Well, Neesham tried to keep it in play and paid the penalty. Laidley is down meantime. I didn't see what happened, but the crowd upset about something.
No, I didn't see that, but I did see Wilson clean Paul Harding up.
This is Martin who can go back to Bradmore. No, he elects not to. Now he does.
not very much gain.
Not
Possession
really.
only.
Bradmore. Chaplin, who's been quiet today, kicked one good goal in the first term. Inside scoring range. West Perth need this goal. The breeze at their backs. Across the face, through the hands of Stevens, gets another chance. Ball still live there in the goal square, picked up again by Stevens to Gaster, who snaps. That's a magnificent attempt. He just missed. Good work by West Perth. They kept that ball alive.
Yes, East Fremantle should have got that through a lot quicker than that.
Browning short to Neesham, deep in the pocket. Not much advantage there. Just more time for West Perth to man up in the reception area down the ground. That's where the ball falls. Battling Harding. Good hand pass comes out from Wilson to Christie up the ground. Or was it Holt? Holt finds Peake.
What a good pass that was.
Peake looks into open space, puts the ball in front of Waterson. Muggerman in close attendance. Well played by Muggerman. Muggerman almost slips, flops. Short little kick, goes looking for Warwick and finds him. He can look ungainly at times, Noel Muggerman. No one standing the mark. Gee, that's casual football as Warwick makes about 10 metres and kicks to Bradmore.
Very clever mark that, used his body beautifully.
He's a master of using the body. Again, no one standing the mark as Bradmore kicks towards the vacant goal square, but Browning, sensing the danger, drops back to take the mark. Runs it out, does Browning. Chips the ball in short to Christie. No one on the far side. He'll have to cut back infield. Now there's indecision in the mind of Christie. Needs someone to go to the outer side. Renstead does it. It was a long time in coming. Stop-start football by East Fremantle. The crowd engrossed. Renstead's kick towards half forward. Damon in best position to mark. Doesn't. Duckworth tries to crash his way through. Rankin leads in the race. Still it's Rankin over the ball, surrounded by West Perth players. Well done, David Rankin. He ties it up for a bounce.
He does use his body beautifully for a little man. Always puts his body between the opponent and the ball.
No, he didn't play on the stateside's a mystery. Harding's pushed in the back. Paul Harding on centre wing. Spirals it down inside 50, where Muggerman leads to the ball. Duckworth dragged off it. What's the decision? It's a Muggerman free, is it? He's got it. Didn't see what that was for. Muggerman goes short. Finds Neil Fong. He's an attacking back pocket. He's attacked by Lester Smith. This is Gaster. Gaster back to Neil Fong. Under pressure, out it comes to Laidley. West Perth are going to make a mess of this. Lester Smith, well played. He harassed them all the way. The soccer off the ground goes only as far as Damon. It deserved better. Damon around the outer side. Gaster marks it just inside the line. As Darren Hewitt comes off the ground, we mentioned he hasn't been fit since midway through the second quarter. And Craig Binder comes on. This is Mifka on the outer side. Mifka kicking towards half forward. Not a good kick. Didn't look. Browning's in front, takes the mark. 10-11 East Fremantle. 7-8 West Perth. And now 15 metres for Browning. As he comes up towards the centre square. Looks across the ground. Solon. Solon from centre wing. Almost a chip kick out towards half forward. Laidley spoils, but right into the waiting hands on the bounce of Renstead. Renstead running goalward. Puts it through for East Fremantle. Well, Laidley could do no more. Lester Smith is a hard man in that marking contest situation, and Laidley, reduced to spoiling, thumped it straight down to Renstead, who read it brilliantly.
And didn't he handle it beautifully? Let's have another look at it. There we see Lester Smith. Laidley spoils. Look at the backup of Renstead. Magnificently handled. And, of course, if you handle the ball as cleanly as that, in that situation, you quite often run into an open goal. And Murray Renstead is one of his few venches into the forward line today.
Ideally, in a spoiling situation, of course, Spud, the ball should go to the boundary. But Lester Smith has those long arms, doesn't he? And as a result, sometimes you're happy just to get a fist in there.
That's correct. We've said that many times this year since he started playing in the league side. And backmen have got to be very carefully when manning him because he takes a very strong mark overhead.
Bell gets a free kick beside the centre circle. Boots it out wide. Sullivan almost the clever mark. This is Chaplin. Danger for East Fremantle. Chaplin kicks towards goal. That's a fine effort from there. My word, he's good around goal, Gavin Chaplin. And a quick reply from West Perth.
Yes, you're quite correct, Dennis. Chaplin does his best work around the goals. He's developing nicely as a player, number 11. For the Falcons, and early on when he first came into the side, he came in a fanfare of glory, kicking 7 goals, And now he's starting to develop his midfield play. Not so much today, but in other games. And he doesn't miss many goals when he's near them.
77 to 56. Rogers favoured by the bounce. Gets it down to Bell, to Damon. Damon runs through the centre, kicks towards half forward. Bradmore out in the lead, can't mark. Fong waiting behind, does it brilliantly. Gastev back, looking for Fong. Browning coming out to meet the ball. Still it's Browning. Harris, Peake. Stevens does well to get in front. Peake paddles it across to Rankin. Now Rankin, no one on the outer side, has to come back infield. Did it brilliantly. That was the best he could do there as he tried to get it to Harding. Rogers, the long feed. Bell, Menaglio. Can he score his fifth? Menaglio goes into the pocket and finds Mifka.
Class, all class Menaglio.
It's Martin, in fact.
Beautifully balanced. And that was pretty well played by the big man then, Kim Rogers. He shot about a 20-metre handball over to the centre of the ground where Bell was free. And that set this shot up for goal from David Martin.
There goes his kick. What's he done? That looks pretty good. Oh, he missed an easy one at that end. That was in the first term. And that one, I guess, makes amends. West Perth coming back at East Fremantle. West Perth 9-8. East Fremantle 11-11. David Martin recruited from North Melbourne to Claremont. And now at West Perth.
Let's have a look at Menaglio. The beautiful balance of the man. Playing his 150th and having a look downfield. Just took that little bit of extra time to weave around and the magnificent pass.
Back in the centre, East Fremantle win it away this time. Renstead towards half forward. Harding!
That's a
superb mark, not play.
Dear. Kenny O'Driscoll, that was as clean as you'd like.
Harding takes his frustrations out with a ruck knock, but Damon's got it. To Bell, running across half back. Brendan Bell goes out wide, looking for Neil Fong, who appears to be on the forward line. Solon leads back in the race. Fong in close attendance. It's out of bounds. Neil Fong, a young man who came down to West Perth, went away, came back. Now in the league side, and it seems to stay. He's playing pretty good football at the moment. Alexander got it backward of the pack. Holt was tackled, as was Neesham. Solon feeds a hand pass to Renstead. Renstead goes over the top looking for Green, gets an obliging bounce to Green. Kicks towards centre field, coming down to meet at Lester Smith. Still it's Lester Smith battling with Warwick. And the umpire Johnson will bounce. Laidley slung out of it. Wilson silly. West Perth ball. He's already on report. Laidley, not a good kick. Bradmore, judicious nudge that time. Brilliantly done to Chaplin. Chaplin 30 metres out. That's a bread and butter goal for him. And Bradmore just using the body brilliantly, winning the ball, feeding the ball out. And West Perth storming back into this contest.
I wonder how Peter Wilson feels now. That's about his fourth ridiculous incident today. He's having a word with the umpire, but Peter Wilson, absolutely unnecessary. You've just cost your side a goal. And what's more, West Perth have got their tails up, full of confidence, beautifully played by Bradmore, and a Chaplin his second goal in the last 5 minutes.
77 to 68. Alexander and Rogers. Rogers dominating in this turn. Bad bounce for Menaglio. Through comes the East Fremantle champ Renstead. Brilliant start across to Peake. Peake goes with the left foot down towards the pocket. Harding's made some space, but the boundary line is too near, and we'll have a throw in.
The thing I love about Murray Renstead is when the going is tough, that's when he's at his best, and time and again it's he who lifts East Fremantle, and that was exactly the case then.
Rogers doing a power of work for West Perth. To the front that time, Menaglio, superb. Spins out of trouble, boots back towards centre wing. East Fremantle have got the numbers. Holt's got the ball. Fine shepherd by Alexander. Gets Bradmore out of it. Holt driving back down towards Lockyer. Lockyer one hand, couldn't mark. Duckworth to Muggavan. Muggavan deep in defence. In trouble. Chips it across looking for Damon. Damon can't control it. Now he does as he dives on top of it. Stephen Green gets a hand in there. Keeps that on the ball. As a result, Damon couldn't get it forward. Rogers again. Chaplin away from half-back, kicking towards the centre square, and the mark is taken by Martin. 11-11 East Fremantle. 10-8 West Perth. 13 and a half minutes played, third term. Into the West Perth forward line. Now a chance for Fong leading back in the race. Can he control it? Surrounded. Neil Fong trying to back up his brother Les, diving on top of it down there, Gaster. That's 43. Neil Fong going in on Alexander. Gavin Wake pushing and shoving too. The whistle blowing down there from the umpire. I think that was a stop it whistle blow.
They're really switched on, the Falcons. That last goal has done wonders for them.
Take a bow, Peter Wilson. Stevens. Menaglio. It's going to be another bounce. Alexander's got the ball in there for East Fremantle. So the undefeated Sharks having the challenge put to them now in this third quarter. They've responded every time this season. Alexander over the back of the pack. Holt goes in. This is Browning. Sees Rankin on a lead to the outer side. Rankin and Mifka. This will be interesting. Rankin sockers the ball out of bounds and we'll have a throw in.
Just been wondering why they haven't done something with Browning today. He's been out of touch in the back line. I've just realised they're one defender short, Bryce Foreman.
Run forward by Stevens, taken by Chaplin. Hand passes to his own advantage and is held without. Wes Foreman not taking his place in the side.
And with the Bryce Foreman out of the side, Browning restricted to the back line.
Chaplin down in the Browning direction. It comes backward to the pack. It's all East Fremantle now, running it out O'Sullivan. Out towards half-back he comes. Warwick won't be bought. Yes, he will. Eventually he had to go, but the hand pass is sloppy one. Well played by Wilson. Gets it over the top to Lester Smith. Lester Smith kicks down towards the pocket. Harding's in front and he takes the mark outside 50 metres. Lester Smith running on down towards the pocket, covered by Muggerman. As a result, Harding goes for distance down towards full forward. Duckworth is down there, twisted away by Lockyer. Muggerman forces it through the pack. Duckworth a clear hand pass to Bell, to Damon. Damon in trouble, keeps his composure well, to Fong, to Muggerman, can go again to Bell. Bell at right half back. Brilliant football by the Falcons. Driving around the outer side is Bell. Bradmore couldn't mark it. Sockers off the ground. That's a kick down towards the pocket. Has it got too much carry? It's out of bounds on the full. It was bad luck for West Perth. Well, the goal umpire getting involved in that decision.
The boundary umpire is just coming past the scoreboard, Dennis.
Not surprised he got distanced in that. But his next start, I think there'll be a D alongside his name.
Brilliant defensive work by West Perth.
Browning chips it in short. Well, gee,
oh dear.
You doubt the wisdom of that. Bradmore trying to hang on. Legged an East Fremantle player. And it's going to be a Wake free kick. And the player slightly bewildered by all of that.
Well, he's really penalised East Fremantle because they were on the break.
Wake. Rankin. Green. Green comes down towards the half-forward flank position. Normally he's a good kick, Steve Green, but his kicking today has been atrocious.
Yes, and he's got a few mates out there too, and we were just discussing at half-time, maybe not the best ball of all time out there today because the kicking from both sides hasn't been up to standard. South
Fremantle lead by 30 points, and Claremont by 21 points in the other games as Green pumps it towards Lester Smith, who's surrounded. Was he pushed in the back? Not according to the umpire. Bell has got it to Muggerman. Noel Muggerman goes long towards half forward. Menaglio. That's just about worth 15.
Beautiful kick from Noel Muggerman. Pinpoint. And a good 50-metre kick, that one.
Menaglio could put this in the goal square. There goes his kick. They'll contest about 15 metres out. Off the hand of Rogers. Browning does well for East Fremantle. Still it's Browning. Pumps it out. Green's got it now. Green kicking towards half-back flank. Wilson and Fong. Still it's Wilson. West Perth have got the numbers. Well played, Peter Wilson. Lester Smith sockers it across. Chance now for Bushell. Back it comes to Wilson. My word, he did brilliantly there for East Fremantle. Neesham boots towards half forward. Peaks in front. Damon knocks it away. Favours Peak. Can't control it. For a moment he didn't know where it was. Mifka gets back. Still it's Mifka. Deep in his own defensive area now for West Perth. Gets around Harding. Still it's Mifka. Across the goal face to accommodate Comerford. Comerford comes out wide. Reading it well, Billy Jones. Almost knocked it away from Laidley. Laidley leads back in the race. Support from Warwick. Laidley the hurried kick to Gaster. He can go over the top. It's all West Perth run inside. Long hand pass to Fong. Fong on centre wing. The Falcons are coming at the Sharks. Wong kicking to the forward line. Rogers.
Boy, they've got their tails up.
Rogers plays on. Now he goes for distance down towards full forward. And he's just off target. 10-9 West Perth, 11-11 East Fremantle.
And West Perth's backline functioning like a well-oiled machine, rebounding time and time again.
Short one comes in from Holt to Wake. Wake chips it back to Alexander. Alexander from half back, inboard. Now, let's see if they can establish something. Green goes towards half forward. Positive lead from Lockyer. Bumps it over the back. Now it's a foot race. Two of the quickest men in league football. Damon, look at him keep his balance. That's holding the ball, though, I thought. Billy Jones has still got him. No decision from umpire Johnson. This is Gastiff. Now it's Bell. Bell, the clever hand pass to Muggavan. Muggavan goes out looking for Mifka, and Mifka takes a very strong mark. Well, I thought East Fremantle was severely dealt with there. I thought that was holding the ball despite Damon's great effort.
By their own standards it was, but again, well played by the West Perth defence.
Mifka long into attack. Off hands, Menaglio, superb. He's a wizard. Chaplin inside 25, and he puts it through. Well, the ball handling of the little man, number 9 for West Perth, sensational.
Well, Chaplin's kicked 3 goals for the quarter, and he's very best around the goals, and now the challenge being served right up with Menaglio. He won it brilliantly by great reading of the game. Great handball over to Chaplin, he pops it through, but they're on fire. The Falcons are on fire, I tell you. The side defending at the moment is East Fremantle because the Falcons are taking all before them.
Back in the centre, 2 points the difference. Rucks at it again. Peake trying to knock it forward, but West Perth have got the runners at the moment. Chance for Renstead. Goes against the tide. Superb stuff. Renstead down towards full forward. Waterson out in front. Muggavan. He's had a fine quarter. Tackled. Green's got it. Waterson 40 metres out. Kicks towards full forward. He's off target. It's a behind. 11-12 East Fremantle. 11-9 West Perth.
That's an indication of the pressure because Waterson does not normally miss those type of shots. Pretty clean go at the goal, but just didn't get the kick away.
And Comerford will go for distance. His target is the man down the middle. Bell, not a good kick. Renstead does brilliantly. Bell, equal to the occasion, fights back. West Perth wanting it more. Stevens inclined to dive on it without thought. East Fremantle just thinking about it for a fraction of a second. Are East Fremantle going to lose their first this afternoon? Harding goes up, flicks it backward of the pack. Gastiff gets it down to Menaglio, who is held. He's inspired Peter Menaglio, his 150th this afternoon. Feeds it to Laidley. Laidley drives around the outer side. Off hands, jostling out there between Mifka and Rankin. Mifka and Rankin, they fight a draw. In comes Wilson, gets it across towards Green. Green's hand pass almost intercepted, knocked on by Bradmore. In goes Rankin. It's still in play. Bradmore's got it. It's out of bounds.
The first real challenge served up to East Fremantle this year.
Won by West Perth. Solon's got it. Now East Fremantle have got a chance. Rankin, who doesn't normally waste the ball, gets around Laidley. Kicks down towards the forward pocket. Waterson is up. Strong mark, Waterson. Played to Muggavan.
Well. Man in front, he paid.
Let's have another look. Muggavan going back. I think maybe he was right, the umpire. Gastiff, Menaglio. Menaglio with brilliance to Mifka. Mifka long into the forward line. Bradmore going back, taken high. Silly football by East Fremantle. Solon, the offending player, and Bradmore is hurt. Well, he's caused them so much aggravation down there, Phil Bradmore. That is very crude. The ball was about 5-10 metres away.
24 minutes gone. West Perth can hit the front.
Bradmore deep into attack. Fisting away Browning. Christie towards the boundary. Green hugging the boundary. O'Sullivan is out there. O'Sullivan confronted out there by Fong. It's Neil Fong and then Les in turn, but O'Sullivan does very well for East Fremantle. Boots it back towards centre wing and Bradmore.
He's having a good big season, is Phil Bradmore.
Duckworth tries to kick it too hard. As a result, it spews off the boot towards the pocket. A lot of leaping down there, claiming the mark is Wake, who then proceeds to force it behind. And Wake is gesticulating with the umpire that he thought it was a mark.
I don't think you can take the chance down there, Dennis. He would have been better to have run back between the goals, given the point away.
Browning. Oh, Stevens. West Perth can lead if Stevens can kick straight. In the other games, Claremont lead by 7 points. South lead by 36 points. Mark Stevens. Inside 50. Drop punt is good. And West Perth are in front. West Perth at 12-10. East Fremantle 11-12. And now the Acid is on the league leaders.
Mark Stevens gets his first goal, and East Fremantle making more mistakes than I think they've maybe made all year. And we saw one of their very best defenders, Clinton Browning, kicking the ball straight down the throat of Mark Stevens. He took the mark, found the big opening, and by gee, have they got some pressure on East Fremantle now. They've got their tails up, they're physical, they're doing everything right, and their back line is working superbly.
Approaching time on. West Perth by 4 points. Renstead to Peak. Peak boots to the outer side. East Fremantle don't have representation. Laidley gets back there, well shepherded by Duckworth. Laidley feeds it to Duckworth. Duckworth needs to kick. He's in trouble. Back it comes to Laidley. Laidley with time. Hurried kick though. Harding, courageous mark, sliding in at the feet of Neil Fong, and should get 15. Both umpires adjudicating on that, if you don't mind. At least they were consistent. They were both going to give him 15. Down towards full forward. Comerford comes out, drops the mark, has time to recover. Oh, shocking hand pass. That's the blunder of the day as Mainwaring kicks. And what's he done? It's a goal. Well, Graham Comerford, normally so cool and poised, that time had too much time, if there's such a thing, Spot.
Yes, well, a lot of pressure out there, a lot of pressure. And let's have another look at it to see desperation on the face of Comerford. There's the handball, but right in the path of Mainwaring. We haven't seen a lot of Mainwaring today, but that is a very handy goal to put the Sharks back in front. But East Fremantle really struggling to kick goals now. We've seen both full-backs make mistakes in the last 5 minutes, and they've been very thankfully received by the oppositions.
2 points East Fremantle's way. One down by Rogers, taken by Bell, Menaglio, Billy Jones. Chaplin's got it now for West Perth. High kick towards half forward. It's very gloomy at Subiaco Oval. Fisting away Browning down there. Solon forward to the pack. Neil Fong to no one in particular. Brother Les gets on the end of it. Over the top now. Chance for Bradmore. Knocked away. Trying to pick it up Stevens. Waite goes in with courage. Hit around the face. Stevens held without it. And Stevens will get the free kick.
Well, let's have another look at it. There it is, Stevens playing the ball, was in possession. Here comes the tackle from Solon, and no doubt about that, in the middle of the back. And Stevens a chance to kick his second goal for the quarter. He kicked one about 5 minutes ago. And of course, if he does kick it at the 27, nearly 28-minute mark of this third quarter, he'll put the Falcons in front. He's shooting from about 35 metres.
In he comes, Mark Stevens. What's he done with it? It's close. It's a goal. West Perth are back in front. What a good game of football this is.
Well, no place for the faint-hearted out there, because West Perth have got their tails up now, and East Fremantle, the first pressure on them for the year. We saw Perth put pressure on them in one game, but apart from that, they've done it pretty easy. They've been able to pull away from the opposition, usually in the third quarter, and then finish it off in the last quarter. Well, they just haven't been able to pull away in this third quarter.
Bounce. Rogers opposed to Harding. Free kick to Harding. To Peak. Peak into the forward line. Lockyer on the end of it. Drops the mark. Duckworth has certainly worried him out of this contest. Lockyer's been missing in this term. Comerford. Comerford, indecisive. Kicks right across the face of goal. Damon deep in the back pocket. Warwick is free. That's the direction the kick takes. Out of bounds on the full decision. Oh.
I thought that was touched before it went over.
Stephen Green's got it. 28 minutes played. Bushell and Green combining. Green goes across the ground. Peak deep into attack. 1 out contest. Comerford and Waterson running behind Mainwaring. He didn't want the ball very much. This is Laidley. Gets around Waterson. Laidley kicks back along the grandstand side. Missed by Pinder. Missed by Menaglio. Renstead goes short. Lockyer's in front. Lockyer feeds the hand pass to Neesham, who's gone right out of this game. Fong to Menaglio. Menaglio long towards half forward. Knocked away by Robert Solon. Taken by Bradmore. Brilliant hand pass. Superb hand pass. Fong. Long kick into the forward line. Gaster Just centimetres too long. It's out of bounds in the right full forward pocket. And how about the hand pass on his wrong side, left-handed, Phil Bradmore.
It's amazing what you can do when you're real desperate. He would have hit that, Dennis, at 30, or think 30 metres.
And it was centimetre perfect, wasn't it? The man didn't have to break stride. Here's the man that took the hand pass, kicks the goal. Fong, Les Fong. West Perth 14-10, East Fremantle 12-12.
Oh, very big quarter this for West Perth. They've already kicked 7 goals.
There's the throw in. Stevens brilliantly. Boom.
That was a very good knockout by Mark Stevens, and he has had a very good quarter. He's kicked 2 goals and set that one up. And the West Perth supporters are coming to life. They've never enjoyed a football match so much for a long, long time.
Back in the setup. Interference again to Harding, I thought. Play to go on. Neesham tried to get a hand pass forward, couldn't. West Perth's defence has been brilliant. This is Billy Jones trying to crash his way through the pack. Bushell knocked away by Rogers. West Perth are inspired. Chaplin to Bell towards half forward. Gastiff was up down there. West Perth don't want the siren to go, I tell you that. It's due to go. This is Browning. Browning confronted by all sorts of obstacles. Gets it across to Green. Well played by Green. Now perhaps West Perth want the siren to go. As Green runs up towards centre wing. Kicks towards half forward. Mainwaring's in front. One hand is not good enough. Battles back is Mainwaring. No support. Needs to hook it. Scrambles it forward to Renstead. Renstead at right half forward. Has a man on down towards the pocket. Lockyer. High. Pinder coming. Lockyer takes the mark. It's almost siren time again. He doesn't want to play on. Goes down towards full forward. That's a brilliant kick. He saw Waterson. Muggerman tried to get there and I think take Waterson into the post as the siren sounds. Now whatever you do, Colin, don't play on.
It's quite incredible that he should have the last kick of this quarter as he did in the second quarter.
Yes. He's on quite an angle. When he comes, what's he done? It's a goal. Boy, they needed that one, East Fremantle. They're 13-12. The score has come down very quickly. West Perth 14-10. So 4 points in it as we'll go to the last quarter. What an amazing game of football this has been.
In this game last round, East Fremantle kicked 14 goals in the last quarter.
Certainly been one of their trademarks this year. Their second, third and fourth quarters have been outstanding. They're well and far away the best side in goal scoring potential in those quarters in the WAFL.
Well, momentum's a strange thing. Old Fickle Mo, it was certainly running with West Perth towards the end of that term. Now they've got to re-establish it again. The minds have cleared. They've had three-quarter time. They've got to come back and they've got to get that concentration back. And, of course, that works to East Fremantle's advantage. They were doing all the chasing late in that term. We start the final term. West Perth lead by 4 points. Will this be East Fremantle's first loss of the season? Indecisive ruck play. Taken away by Brian Peake. Scrambles a kick towards the outer side. Wilson in front. He takes the mark. An erratic player this afternoon, Wilson. He's on report as he kicks long into the forward line. Alexander from behind almost the mark. Muggerman dragged off the kick. He scrambles it to Bell, though. Bell at centre half back. Boots it out wide. East Fremantle in best position to control this ball. Solon knocks it off very intelligently there with the right hand. Got it across to Rankin. Rankin boots it down towards the pocket. Waterson's in front. From behind, Comerford. Comerford at the second opportunity. Knocked on by Waterson. And it crosses the boundary at right full forward. 14-10 West Perth. 13-12 East Fremantle after East Fremantle led at half-time. 9-11 to 7-7. Big third term from the Falcons. Throw in. Just outside 25 metres. Alexander only to the advantage of Muggerman. Muggerman carried forward in the tackle, not according to the umpire. Bushell is in there, Mainwaring too. And there's going to be a bounce. Rogers and Alexander, plenty of strength being used. Mainwaring on top of the ball now. Umpire Johnson calls for it again. So the challenge squarely at East Fremantle's door now. You don't win 12 games on end, though, by simply tossing one away. Mainwaring eventually clears the area with a high kick down towards full forward. Lester Smith has it knocked away. Towards the boundary line it goes. Duckworth and Lockyer getting tangled up there. There's Ducky, heavily bandaged.
Well, that West Perth defence has really done the club proud today. Can they keep it up?
Alexander tries to get it backward of the pack, but Rogers succeeds in winning it forward. Gastiff goes around the outer side, and the mark is taken by Warwick. Warwick, the defensive side of half-back, gets it across to Wayne Damon. Between lines now, Damon up towards centre wing. Damon, indecisive.
He had a lovely opportunity to get the ball on the bell. He was all clear in the middle of the ground for a long time. Didn't get done quick enough.
So play stops as Damon kicks high towards the half-forward line. Holt, socket out of the pack there by O'Sullivan across the boundary line. Eventually. Holt was very indecisive there, wasn't he, going into that pack for East Fremantle?
Yes.
Harding and Rogers. Confidence, a strange thing. Crashing through Holt that time. That's better, more like him. Mainwaring battling with Fong. Mainwaring's got it. Hawks kicks down towards the half-forward flank position. Jostling down there. Binder and his marksman Lester Smith. Lester Smith does brilliantly to get his body in front. Back, though, comes Laidley. Laidley chips it across the top to find Damon. Now Damon runs from half-back. Runs towards centre wing. Kicks towards half-forward. O'Sullivan's in front out there. Ball pitches just in front of him. He can't control it. It's out of bounds and will have a throw-in.
I don't think I've seen East Fremantle play the flanks as much in any game this year as they have today, and just haven't had the freedom to blast the ball down the middle of the ground with the pinpoint kicks we're used to seeing from them.
Throw in, left half forward for West Perth. Rogers, clean possession, well, almost. This is Mainwaring. Hooks it back towards centre field. Wilson in front, as he generally has been this afternoon. Gives it across to Neesham. Good shepherd from Holt. Neesham running towards half forward. That's more like East Fremantle. Long down towards Alexander. Fisted away brilliantly by Muggavan. Close to the boundary line, it's out of bounds. Muggavan getting the right angle on that spoil.
Yes, they've done it very well. They've done everything right since about halfway through the third quarter, that West Perth defence, and they've risen to great heights, and collectively, and they're not a star-studded defence, but when a defence can work as a unit as they have, they can become very effective.
Throw in the pocket. Alexander wins it forward. Knocked away, though, by Comerford. Lester Smith snaps with the left foot across the goal face. Going back is Damon. Can't take the mark. Golden opportunity missed there for West Perth along this grandstand side. As it is, it's out of bounds. At Fremantle Oval, South lead by 47 points. At Laflane Park, Claremont by 30 points. Gastiff, no space at all. He's bundled out of bounds. Wenstead applying the tackle. There's going to be a boundary throw in. Wenstead a long way down the ground. Throw in on the 25-metre line. Rogers and Alexander. Waterson. Wenstead through his legs. Goes again to Wenstead. Cross towards Alexander. Alexander tries to hand pass it out of the pack. Didn't succeed. There's going to be a bounce. So the difference is still 4 points West Perth's way. Of course, that controversial goal right on half-time.
It could be an interesting one.
Not awarded to East Fremantle's Colin Waterson. We thought it was a goal. Well, two of us did. This is Wilson. Hooks it back. Magnificent attempt by Wilson. What a great snap by Peter Wilson. Well, he is a mercurial player. He takes a bow. He's a silly boy.
Well, he really has made some mistakes this afternoon. And by the same token, I suppose he's almost got to be in East Fremantle's best players. Let's have a look. A lovely knock there from Alexander. Neesham, and pushing the defender off onto his right foot, and through it goes for a goal.
Back in the centre, he finished it off strangely, did Wilson, and took some of the luster off his own work. There goes the kick from Gastiff out towards right half forward. Menaglio, superb mark. And he beat good competition in weight. What a magnificent mark. 14-12 East Fremantle, 14-10 West Perth. Menaglio 50 metres out. High kick towards the kick-off line. East Fremantle in best position. Browning missed it. Christie, a hand pass across the face of goal. Mainwaring dives on top of it, and there's going to be a bounce.
Well, the confidence has gone right out of Clinton Browning. He wasn't quite sure whether to spoil or mark, and he made a mess of it.
Harding arriving late. Browning does the ruck work, in fact. It comes to Chaplin. Chaplin screws it back over his left shoulder, and he kicks it behind. 14-11 West Perth, 14-12 East Fremantle.
Interesting to see how much run East Fremantle have got in their legs. They started to run out of legs, I thought, in that third quarter. Players, instead of leading, were just standing still and calling for the ball.
Browning to kick in. Waterson's come out to centre half forward for East Fremantle. Muggavan followed him out. Duckworth and Lockyer have gone back. Ball on the outer side. Rankin didn't put his body in that time. Now he's got the ball, though. Feeds a hand pass out wide to Wenstead. Renstead drives around the outer side. West Perth have got the numbers. Binder misses the mark. Now it's a chance for Muggervan. Still it's Muggervan. Boots it back towards a more central location. Finds Bell. Bell feigns a hand pass. Wrong foot's Rankin. Runs towards centre. His second bounce. Goes beside the centre circle. Kicks into the forward line. Stevens from behind. Man in front. Browning. Ooh. The umpire indicated Stevens, then Browning.
Yes, he pointed the wrong way and rectified it very quickly.
Doesn't help if he's standing at an intersection and he's a policeman. Green's got it on the outer side. Covered by third party. This is Lester Smith. Lester Smith well shepherded by Holt. He's at right half forward. Spears the ball in. Magnificent kick, and he finds Lockyer. Lockyer's drifted right out of the game since being confronted by John Duckworth since half time.
Bit of slack defence there from West Perth.
Andrew Lockyer. A chance to increase East Fremantle's lead. Long kick off target. They move to 14-13. West Perth 14-11.
Yes, that was one of the few times Lester Smith and East Fremantle were able to get loose. Lester Smith then on his wrong foot were able to get right around onto his right foot and spear the pass in.
Goes looking for Menaglio out there to Comerford. Lockyer made it difficult. Pulls it back. Good kick. Lester Smith takes the mark. Well, that was an ambitious kick in. I didn't think he was going to go to Menaglio because it was going to be a marking contest unless that kick was centimetre perfect. It wasn't. Lockyer was able to get back on Menaglio and make a contest of it. He was simply too tall and too strong, and as a result, once he won the ball on the ground, his kicking is such that East Fremantle were in with a golden opportunity, and now this man, Lester Smith, from directly in front, has a chance to extend the Sharks' lead. It's now 8 points. 15-13 East Fremantle, 14-11 West Perth.
Well, take a bow, Andrew Lockyer, because really that was your goal. The kick was to Menaglio, as you heard Dennis say, and I thought he showed great desperation to get back. I thought the kick was okay, but Lockyer's desperation and will to win that ball got him back in time to bring the ball to the ground. And then we saw him recover quicker than Menaglio, and again the spearing pass going into Lester Smith, and East Fremantle are starting to answer the challenge. Can they keep on with it?
Bounce from umpire Johnson. Harding goes up, wins it. Wilson knocks it on. East Fremantle leading the race from all directions. Lester Smith comes up out of his pocket to grab it, chips it in short. Main Waring. Main Waring would be only 35 metres out, almost directly in front. Brendan Bell remonstrating with the West Perth players for not getting back in time. And certainly East Fremantle moved it out very quickly. The thump from Harding, the knock on from Wilson. It's hard to run with that sort of movement. Main Waring kicks a goal for East Fremantle. They start to slip West Perth. 16-13 to 14-11.
Well, we were looking for some answers. We've been waiting to see East Fremantle put under pressure, and I think a few answers are starting to filter through, because East Fremantle, who lost their composure during the third quarter, have regained it. We're seeing some good systematic football, confidence returning, and West Perth would need to kick the next goal, otherwise they might get run over the top of.
10 minutes played, final term. Harding goes up and wins it decisively down towards Renstead. Menaglio held without it. Renstead unable just for that fleeting second to control the ball.
Handy free kick, this one.
Menaglio beside the centre circle, kicking long towards half forward. Bradmore's in front, as he's been all day, and he takes a strong mark. My word, that was a good effort. Pops it across, looking for Gastev, and Gastev takes the mark. Inside 50. Clever stuff, Johnny Gastev, as he plays on and kicks a goal. Black stuff by Clinton Browning, who was supposed to be standing the mark.
Well, a very good passage of play by West Perth, and a very handy free kick coming out of the middle. There's a good mark by Bradmore, having the front position. He's usually in that position, holding the mark. It goes over to Gastev, and a bit of slack marking here by Clinton Browning.
Up goes Harding to win it down. Bell, wide of the pack. Peake goes in. Robbed of it, though, by Warwick, who then proceeds to fall over. Still he battles after the ball, tries to knock it back to Menaglio. Robbed of it. That was a good tackle put on by Renstead. Measham gives it across to Main Waring, who kicks it straight to Damon. East Fremantle lead by 8 points as Damon brings it along the grandstand side. Long telling kick, looking for Bradmore. Knocked away by Christie. Crashing in was Neil Fong. Chance there for O'Sullivan. Back it comes to Solon. Solon run down from behind by Gastiv. Fine effort. Mifka spins out of trouble to Gastiv towards the pocket, and the mark is taken by Martin. He's 50 metres out, Martin. Goes across the ground. Held out. If it was green, surely. Oh, no free kick. Menaglio had him by one arm. Wenstead kicks it straight to Mifka. Well, surely that was a kick to Stephen Green.
Oh, bad mistake that by the umpire.
Mifka, long. Bradmore in from the side, almost the mark. Menaglio, the genius of the man, deep in the pocket. Across to Fong. Fong steadies. That's Neil Fong and just misses.
Well, West Perth playing very, very well under pressure. And
14-12 to 16-13. Browning to Mainwaring. Doesn't want to rush it. He wants to get it on to that man who's free on the outer side, Neesham. Neesham still got it. Well played by Chris Mainwaring. Neesham wants all the time in the world. Kicks it towards the outer side and Peake content to run it across the boundary line. Will have a throw in out there.
Well,
East Fremantle.
Yeah, sorry, Dennis. I was just going to say, one gets the feeling that at East Fremantle, at any stage of this quarter, ease up thinking they've got the game won. They're going to run into trouble.
East Fremantle lead by 7 points. It's on the outer side as Wilson knocks it on. Peake leads in the race, but the finesse is being shown there by Laidley and in turn Bell. Brilliant stuff. Warwick across the face of the ground. Mifka's got it. Left side, David Rankin. High kick towards half forward. Bradmore's in front. Fisted away by O'Sullivan. Mainwaring missed it. Menaglio's holding the ball, I thought. Menaglio, though, too good for Mainwaring. That initial decision didn't go to the East Fremantle player, and after that it was no contest. Down towards half forward. Browning's in front. Off hands Holt now. Away he comes. Holt, the long hand pass to Solon. Solon goes long, looking for Wake. Needs to go over the top. Well played, Wake. Gives it to Holt. Holt towards half forward. Held by the arm, Lester Smith. No free kick. Crashing into Duckworth was Peake. Peake inspired stuff, but West Perth stand firm. Binder brings it away. Not a good kick. It bounces awkwardly for Mainwaring and goes out of bounds. But didn't Brian Peake throw everything in that contest with John Duckworth?
Well, free kicks are not on now, are they?
Doesn't seem to be. Harding.
Great knock.
Rankin, not a good kick. Kicks it straight to Damon. Damon breaks away. Kicks towards the outer side. Chaplin, he's got plenty of speed. Christie closing on him. Christie tries to body him. Brilliantly played, Chaplin. Warwick, no one down the ground for him. He needs the boundary line.
Won't go.
Oh, picked up by Christie out there. Is it Green? Green gives a hand pass to Neesham. Neesham kicks across field to Rankin. Now Rankin can run at the West Perth defence. Telling kick towards Peake. Damon is up. Peake claiming the mark at the second attempt. Brilliant stuff, Peake. Rob Duckworth, who was coming through at the ball, but Duckworth at the second opportunity feeds a hand pass to Mifka. Mifka runs to the centre to Bell. Bell rides one bump, tries to get it back to Comerford. He's claimed, comes out towards Neil Fong. He in turn is claimed. Renstead goes in. Neesham controlling the ball. Alexander picks it up. It's going to be a bounce, and that is marvellous stuff.
Put your whistles in your pockets, umpires. It's on.
16-13 to 15-12 as the Sharks are riding out the storm at the moment. Only just as Bell has got the ball, trying to burrow his way through the pack. And there's going to be another bounce.
The players have got the message that the free kicks are going to be few and far between, and they're going in for that ball like there's no tomorrow.
South lead by 72 points. Claremont by 19 points. Rogers almost clean possession. Trying to pick it up, Renstead. He emerges with the ball. My word, he's a great player. Boots towards half forward. It takes an East Fremantle bounce. West Perth led in 3 directions in the run of the ball, but Harding got the bounce. It's with Waterson. That could be a cruel end if Waterson can goal. He kicks a long one. He kicks it truly, and fate can be very, very unkind. That is a body blow to West Perth and their supporters. The players did everything right. They came to meet the ball, and it simply bounced into the arms of Harding.
Well, that's always on, of course, and there's Waterson. Thought about the handball, but it swings onto the left foot. There's the 50-metre mark, so about a 55-metre kick. The goal square is open. He's a magnificent kick, Waterson, and the Sharks creep further ahead.
Back in the centre. They've got the breeze. Alexander wins it down. Laidley tries to come through. That's holding the ball, umpire.
No.
Not in the last quarter. It is in the first.
No free kicks.
That's nonsense, though, isn't it? I mean, rules don't change.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Well, of course they are.
Not a bad spectacle.
No, good fun. Alexander's got it, boots it out towards half forward. Bounces in no man's land. Lester Smith comes down. Clever football. Waterson puts his body in brilliantly back, but showing a lot of desperation was Binder. But then he hand passed straight to Wilson to Lester Smith. Lester Smith to the pocket. It just didn't carry to Peak. It needed another couple of metres on it. The ball bounces out of bounds, and there'll be a throw in the right full forward pocket.
Well, a bit of breathing space for East Fremantle. What do they lead by? 13 points. And West Perth, for mine, still have legs if they can get the run of the ball.
It's bad luck for East Fremantle. Lester Smith just couldn't get the carry on the ball to Peak. Off hands, chance in there for East Fremantle. They apply a tackle on Damon through Waterson, but the umpire decides he'll bounce it.
Been a long time since it was a free kick. I can't remember the last one.
Now, don't be too conscious of that. Umpire, a lot of bounces. Umpire O'Driscoll bounces. Waterson has kicked another one. Colin Waterson held for, well, virtually 3/4, but suddenly springing to life.
Well, this is a very good answer from East Fremantle, and one must be impressed because they've had pressure applied to them all day today. Enormous pressure applied by West Perth. They lost the initiative. West Perth took hold of it. They kicked 7 goals to 4 in the third quarter. And they certainly took the fight right up to East Fremantle. East Fremantle in a huddle at 3/4 time, as is normal, have bounced back. They're 3 goals, 1 in front, and gee, they're playing real good, solid football. If they put the cue back in the rack, West Perth will grab them again, however.
18-13 to 15-12. It's back in the centre. One out by Rogers, taken by Rankin, pushed off the kick, so Rankin goes again. Still he battles after the ball. Mifka puts his body in on Alexander, and there's going to be a bounce. Well, they've knocked up bouncing, these two umpires, in this last quarter. Umpire O'Driscoll puts it down. Alexander, Rogers, over the top came Martin. Gastovich's hand pass comes out to Mifka. Mifka wants an eternity. Renstead throws the ball to Nish. Well, you're allowed to do anything now. It comes to Holt. Waterson's got it. Waterson, the hand pass to Peak. East Fremantle showing their composure now. They're a good side. Down towards Lockyer. Knocked away by Duckworth. Well played, Lockyer. Knocks it back to the advantage of Harding. Good tackle by Comerford. Harding puts it to the advantageous spot, but Muggerman was there to Laidley on the burst. Blocked there brilliantly by Rankin, or is it Peak? Peak hooks it back towards full forward. Storming out is Lockyer. Slung off the kick. Socket off the ground. Hit the post. Lester Smith. Brilliant stuff by Brian Peake to charge that ball down as West Perth tried to bring it away. 18-14 East Fremantle, 15-12 West Perth. Comerford going back to take the kick. The line established again by West Perth to run up from full back. They don't need to. Duckworth. How many times have West Perth just worked the ball out like that? Mifka. Fong. Under pressure, Les Fong. Out towards right half forward. Bradmore. My word, he's clever. Leads back. Bradmore hooks it around the corner. Browning stops it. He's surrounded now, Browning. Gives it to O'Sullivan. He in turn's in real trouble. Does it well to Solon. Gets around Fong. Well played, East Fremantle. They've got the numbers now, but Mifka comes in from the oblique angle. Read it brilliantly. Gives it across to Neil Fong. West Perth mounting another challenge. Deep across half forward goes the kick. What a good kick it was. And Bradmore takes the mark inside 50. Phil Bradmore. East Fremantle leading by 20 points. And Bradmore with a chance to narrow that. There goes his kick. Sliding across the face. Big pack, West Perth mark. Stevens. Stevens, who kicked 2 goals in the third term. A chance to bring it back to 14. One of the best games he's played this season.
Stevens, he's kicked 2. He's created 1 with a magnificent knockout in the third quarter. Acute ankle.
Goal, Mark Stevens. A man who stood out of football back in 1983. Concentrated on his studies. He's back in football. It's taken him a while, but he's playing great football today.
Yes, he is. And he's got right into the pattern of play. And since half-time, a very, very good contributor. He's been sharing the ruck work with Rogers, and he's just been able to go and do well enough in the centre to stop East Fremantle having an advantage there, to give Rogers a spell from time to time. So Wynn may have developed a support ruckman with skill.
13 points, in fact, is the margin. 108 to 121 as West Perth try and work it forward again. Chaplin appear to be held. This is O'Sullivan. Feeds the hand pass out towards Holt. Holt gives it across towards Peake. Liked his game this afternoon. He's been there when it's counted. Laidley liked his game too. They've had a good duel, Laidley and Wilson, when they've been opposed. And that was a clever mark. Wilson is the sort of player you're not going to contain for 4 quarters. Laidley the high kick back towards centre wing. Up was Holt, couldn't take the mark. Unloaded was Fong. Chance for Menaglio. Still it's Menaglio. Brilliant hand pass over the top. Damon looking everywhere but at the ball, and as a result loses the run of it. Lucky to get a free kick.
Oh, there's a free kick at last. Been a long time.
Damon sees Muggavan. Not a good kick. Muggavan needs to keep coming. Fong has got it. Back to Muggavan. Muggavan 50 metres out. Can the half-back kick a goal? It's not a bad effort. I think he's put it through. He has. Muggavan. The hero's goal for West Perth at the 22.5-minute mark, and it's back to, well, the scoreboard's doing funny things.
There they go. Muggavan on the run. A game had to be won. He had to do something about it. He's come right down from half-back a la Wake in the first half, and he's found the middle. And West Perth back in business. And I said a few moments ago, if Fremantle fumbled or stumbled, then West Perth would grab them because they've still got legs, the Cardies.
Board now showing 8 points the difference. 17-12 West Perth, 18-14 East Fremantle. Laidley approaching 23 minutes. Chaplin. West Perth will not give it up. Fong calling for the ball, but Chaplin goes. He's too nimble for Alexander. Then it comes to Fong. Fong 40 metres out. West Perth needing accuracy. He hasn't got it. And behind, Neil Fong issuing the instructions, pick up. He's forgot to pick anyone up. This is Browning. Ooh, just got there in time. Browning comes away, kicks to open space. Wankin runs onto the ball. Wankin bouncing down the grandstand side. David Wankin kicking for grass inside left half forward. Lockyer comes down with Duckworth, and the big fellow goes crashing across the boundary, as does the football, and will have a throw in.
No easy game here for East Fremantle today. Every time they think they can sit back and cruise, West Perth grab them. They're keeping them very, very honest here this afternoon as Warwick comes off and a Cutler comes on.
Rogers brilliantly to Menaglio. Menaglio cleverly. Oh, superb. He held it back. Bell goes down towards half forward. The mark is taken by Bradmore. 7 points the difference. West Perth on a roll. Neil Fong into open space. West Perth have got the momentum back again. They're controlling this game. The clock is against them as we approach 25 minutes. But East Fremantle is staring down the barrel of their first defeat. Neil Fong, can he improve on his brother's effort a few moments ago? High kick to the square. Gastill! He's a canny little player. He can take a mark, John Gastill, and that time he outmarked Ron Alexander.
Yeah, Big Ron wouldn't be very happy about that at all. His thoughts were right. His thoughts only were for spoiling the ball away, punching it away, with better judgment.
Johnny Gastill has missed, and he's cramped up in the act of kicking. Well, the fates are unkind to West Perth. He cramped up as he kicked that ball, and that's happened, and if it's happened to you, there's nothing much you can do, Spud.
I think he was hurt in other places. He really wanted to kick that one for West Perth, and I think there was more disappointment than cramp.
So you're tough. Browning goes to the other side. Juggle attempt by O'Sullivan. Mainwaring sockers it off the ground. It goes out of bounds and will have a throw in. 6 points the difference. Well, I suppose if you win 20 and tie 1, you're still technically undefeated. West Perth, if they get the next goal, 25.5 minutes played, can tie up the scores. Brendan Bell to Chaplin. Chaplin inside 50. Kicks. What's he done with it? It's across the face. Cutler marks, but it's a behind.
Peake is off the ground. Peake is off the bushel. And that's a very risky thing to do for East Fremantle.
18-14 East Fremantle, 17-15 West Perth. West Perth fans booing the mark wasn't paid, but I'd be happy if I was them for the behind and the ball down this end. This is Chaplin. In field. Chance now for Martin. Martin, the hurried kick is off target again. And Measham gets back to mark across the line. 4 points the difference. 26.25 minutes played. 4 points. East Fremantle's lead. What a cliffhanger. Short one is on. Too casual. Christie's in trouble. In comes Neil Fong. Neesham's got it. Oh, Neesham so casual, gets it across to Solon. Needs a short one. He finds Harding. Harding coming down the grandstand side. Needs support, needs to run. Harding infield. Main Waring. West Perth, they will win the ball. Bradmore, Ripka left without it. What a finish. Bradmore storming through the pack. Into a nest of East Fremantle players though. Stephen Green chips it out wide. Now it's all East Fremantle. Will it stay in play? No, it won't. West Perth wanted that to go out of bounds. East Fremantle leading in the race. East Fremantle by 4 points. 27 minutes played. Throw in outer side. Martin goes up. Main Waring behind. Brendan Bell gets it across to Martin. High kick towards half forward at the fall of the ball. East Fremantle, but Stevens judges it best. Takes the mark. Stevens outside 50. He can kick it a long way. They've got the numbers down the ground. He kicks for Cutler. Going back is Solon. Cutler couldn't take the mark. Browning needs to force it behind, and he does. Oh, my word.
And he very, very nearly threw that. Just got his fist to it.
East Fremantle are under siege at the moment. West Perth throwing everything at them. West Perth, like a boxer who's in front on points, but is having the trike beaten out of him in the last round. He's trying to hang on. They're just trying to cling to West Perth at the moment. There's Wake kicks to the wall. West Perth dominating the game now. Neil Fong, 18-14, 17-7. Back it comes. Bradmore, almost the mark. Ball spills. Knocked out of the pack. Gathered by Stevens. Stevens thinks of a feed. Still at Stevens. Hooks back towards goal. It's all West Perth. Mark is taken by Martin into an open goal, and he puts it through. West Perth lead. West Perth by 2 points.
Well, West Perth deserved to win this game. For mine, they've been the better side out there today. They've really taken the game up to East Fremantle. There's Stevens, one way then the other. Over it goes. 2 West Perth players. No chance of a mistake. Martin takes it, and that could be the winning goal. 30 minutes, just 29 and a half minutes gone, so there's a few minutes to go yet, and East Fremantle still have time. But for mine, West Perth are travelling the better.
Well, what a build-up, what pressure. West Perth relentless as it's back in the centre. They lead by 3, but Harding gets it down looking for Pushel. East Fremantle a little tentative. West Perth want it. There's going to be another bounce. Now the clock is the ally of West Perth as it ticks over 29. Well, this crowd is going to erupt, and so are the players if they can win this one. Harding, only as far as Bell. He's had a fine last term. Rogers dives on the ball, tries to get it out. In goes Menaglio. They've risen for him his 150th. Wenstead is held without it. Wenstead to take the free. Wenstead feeds a hand pass to Holt. Holt runs around Fong. Needs a mark on the end of this 4. East Fremantle as Lester Smith leads back in the race. Deep in the pocket. It's out of bounds. Why did they go there? It needed to be pulled back towards the kickoff line inside 25. Now it's on a sharp angle. 18-14, 18-17. The siren any moment now as Alexander flicks it behind. Chance for East Fremantle. In goes Rogers. Hand passes over the top. Laidley's got it. Crowd roar. Laidley around the outer side. Martin's got it. West Perth are going to win it, I think. Fong in real trouble. Neesham feeds the hand pass to Holt. Can he get a running goal? 50 metres out, Holt. Long one to Main Waring. Duckworth took him high. Main Waring free kick. Siren's gone. Main Waring will kick on goal from 30 metres out, and the agony is etched on the face of every West Perth player. The crowd is spilling onto the ground. Police are going out to try and restrain the crowd. John Wynn has turned his back. He's walking around the boundary. He can't watch. Main Waring kicking to keep the record intact. And the crowd acting very responsibly and backing away from the action. Well, I suppose the West Perth supporters could be forgiven for going and standing on the mark. And Chris Main Waring is showing experience for a young man. He's going to take his time and kick it when he's ready. And of course, we think back, if he misses this, to the controversial goal at half-time. Main Waring. He's only 35 metres out. Slight angle. The West Perth players giving Main Waring a lot of advice, as is Murray Renstead. And I feel for this young man. One kick now. 18-14 East Fremantle. 18-17 West Perth. Chris Main Waring to kick on goal. And the West Perth players are being ushered away. And one wonders if that's worth 15 metres. Chris Mainwaring has missed. West Perth have won. West Perth have won. What a classic game of football.